to our Football West referees, Chloe Smith as our central referee, Roland Turk on the sideline, Georgia Blaine on sideline referee today.
Good player, very efficient, good play. It'll be a throw. South Coast throw here. He's into space. Chance now for South Coast to set up here into attack, but what about that? St. Norbert's defence working wonders. They're on the counter. It goes only as far as the boundary. And St. Norbert will throw this one in. A couple of options lacking there for St. Norbert, and they'll do it again. Sophie Horrell throw this one down the line, and that ricochet. South Coast player number 16 in Tegan Ball. They will throw this one in once more. South Coast again repelling from defence. South Coast defence. Chance now for South Coast. In towards goal, and that's a score! Or is it? No, it's offside. The goal from Pearson, but it was ruled offside by the referees. Burke, as it turned out. Headed for goal, but that one was ruled offside. Pressure's on. Here's Burke. Lovely pass to set up Thompson. Oh, that's a brilliant shot for goal. And that is the first goal for South Coast. That was a brilliant strike by Brianna Thompson. And only 3 minutes into the first half, it's 1-0 to South Coast in this grand final. And St. Norbert, how will they respond? Long ball by the captain in George. Out towards the box. The keeper's under a bit of pressure. There's some trouble. And saving South Coast Bacon is Mansfield. Kicks that one out of play. Immediately, St. Norbert went into attack out of the kickoff. But now, it's a corner. St. Norbert's corner. It's a long ball. In front there from Masood. And that strike just getting past the left post. So one big opportunity going begging for St. Norbert to level it up. Now South Coast straight away will set up. They're pressing forward. Here's St. Norbert. South Coast look to find their way through. Here's Rennie. Rennie going the wrong way as her teammate is Hugos. Good challenge there by Arachi. Out of play. Out of the throw. St. Norbert easily winning that one, but it's chopped up once more by South Coast. And a throw in. Angela George with the side well for St. Norbert in this campaign. Again, South Coast looking to go on the counter. Again, it'll be thrown in. George will get it back. A nice challenge there by Mansfield. That is going to be thrown in by George once again. They've had a couple of opportunities of St. Norbert. Here's George. Look to go along to the box. And now, South Coast on the counter. They go laterally this time. Ball. Pass intended for Burke, but it just went wide, but recovering well is South Coast. They'll look to set this one up here. Good through ball there going towards the attacking half. Now they're having to retreat here, South Coast. You see St. Norbert pressing forward. Weaving her way past brilliantly there through the traffic with class, but here comes George. Almost challenging. South Coast again enforced that turnover in defence. Here's Burdett, the skipper. Lovely pass to the outer side. South Coast going into attack once more. Good defensive work there by Bateo. Sees that one away. And oh, big challenge there. That was some obvious contact there. Going to be a free kick going St. Norbert's way. Arachi chatting there with Chloe Smith, the referee, and also with the South Coast opponent there that enforced the challenge. No contact with the ball whatsoever. Angela George. There's the free kick on the defensive half. George with a long ball. Almost turned over by South Coast, but the work there by Woodstrom Lower. Looking to keep it alive. Can't do so. First 7 minutes gone. It's a 1-0 lead to South Coast. Ava Burke scoring a goal in the early minutes. St. Norbert through George, bringing them back into attack. Through ball heading in the Acc direction. That one is going to be out of play. Just a little too much mustard on that one. And South Coast will get a goal kick. Goal kick through Nandy. Nandy deflects it off. Long ball towards the centre. South Coast. They'll look to break their way through this Norbert press. Good agility and skill being shown here. This is a big chance. The pass in the Burke direction. Well done there by Tuali, saving St Norbert's bacon. But again, South Coast emerge with possession. Good control. They need a little bit more of this South Coast. They've conceded a lot of possession in recent minutes to St Norbert without much reward. Crosses that one to the centre of the attacking zone. Here's a chance. Leonardo looking to make a challenge. Here's Wittstrom lower. Back into the box. Wittstrom lower does well to keep it alive, but it's turned over by Jeeves. Jeeves gets challenged and a free kick. Play will go on. Here's Masood. Masood challenged in the end there by Mansfield and loses out. But again, South Coast on the attack. Plenty of running players in attack for the South Coast side. Burke is lurking. Long strike. And that one's well wide of the goals. Going to be a goal kick for St Norbert. Tuali, his goalkeeper. Hand this one off. This is the skipper, Angela George. As I said, pre-game, one of 2 Year 12s in the side. George will get it back her way. Under a little bit of pressure there from Thompson. Here's Burke, but George able to save St Norbert's bacon once more. Lovely pass work there from Ball. And now South Coast with another chance. Long from Rennie. Big strike from Rennie. That one's just over the crossbar there. That would have given South Coast a very healthy advantage in the early minutes. These games 30-minute halves rather than the usual 45. So here's Angela George. Another long driving ball into the centre. And that'll be a throw-in. Numbers favour South Coast. Here's Ball. Being challenged ferociously by Masood. Masood enforces the turnover. Centering Ball. All camped alongside it there was an Arda. And now a chance for Rennie. Good leg speed is Rennie. Keeps it going. Will she make the cross? No, not able to. Stride does well. He's able to clear that one out towards the goal line, but that'll be a corner. Corner kick for a chance for South Coast to take a 2-0 lead. Chloe Smith, the referees. Chloe Smith, the referee. The central referee. Sideline, Roland Turk and Georgia Blaine controlling the sideline. Lovely corner, plenty on it. The header came in the Thompson direction. Chance now for South Coast. Almost a handball. South Coast are able to keep it alive. Inside the box, big strike, and just deflected there off George, and another corner. Corner kick now for South Coast. They lead at 1-0. Ava Burke scoring the only goal. Here comes the corner. St Norbert able to work their way out of the defence. But Mansfield is going to force South Coast's way back into it. It'll be thrown in just by the line. Horrell challenge there by Ball. Good work there by Masood to keep it alive. She's got great skill in offence, but didn't work for her this time. Burke looks to cross that one, but to no avail. South Coast desperately looking to force their way back into their offence. St Norbert, what they've been able to do is push them back. Some good defence we're seeing. Numbers favour St Norbert. George looking to cross, back in the direction of Horrell. 2-on-1. South Coast just controlling things now. Controlling possession of the ball. And they've got command in this game, 1-0. Mansfield, good pass. On the burst is Telford. Telford, a good through ball in the direction of Rennie. Rennie puts the foot on the accelerator. Good cross pass. Here comes St Norbert. The key cog in defence, Angela George, just continues to be that brick wall for St Norbert. Thompson being a real threat and attack for South Coast. That's out of play. Good cross there by Horrell, looking to set up St Norbert's foray into attack. It's going to be cut off, this time by Ball. Ball, good cross there, centering pass, and now they'll work it to the outer side once more. Woodstrom lower. South Coast just finding some space in the centre. Good strike there, it's in the direction of Burke. Burke keeps it under control. Does well, does Burke. Long strike to the tip of the box. Had plenty on it, but easily underneath it. Here's Tuali. Covers plenty of ground with the kick. Here comes Masood. Masood's had a great campaign. He's up against a direct opponent, and that's a stalemate. That'll be over the goal line. And a corner will be coming up. St Norbert desperate to equalise. Masood with the strike. Woodstrom lower, stops St Norbert in their tracks. And once again, St Norbert will bring it back into attack. Deflection, Masood centres. South Coast repelling out of defence. Through ball headed in the Burke direction. Burke was second to it. And Flocko seeing that one out of play. And joining us here, providing his insight on today's proceedings, Mike O'Meara. Mike, good morning to you. I'm glad you got here. You had a bit of problems with the traffic, but it's great to have you here today. It's a big day, this one.
Yes, the end of a large number of this all starts months ago as they go through the various elimination final games right through the various subsections of the ACC, and semis and finals come up from there. So the football certainly is growing, and I'm very pleased to note that my cue sheet here does call it football.
No, I'm glad it does. I'm glad it does as well, because it's a growing game, isn't it? It's a real growing game, and we see plenty of talent right throughout Western Australia.
Well, there's no coincidence that Sam Kerr is from the ACC, went to Kennedy Baptist and Seton colleges, and now, of course, her influence on the game has been astronomical, certainly especially for the girls, but it's the world game.
Especially it was taken tenfold. You talk about Sam Kerr's influence on Australian football. It was especially tenfold in last year's World Cup here in Australia, where audiences were in the millions, if not the billions.
I sort of compared that to the 2000 Olympics. You probably weren't born, but every time you mentioned the Olympics, they said Kathy Freeman, and now every time you mention football, Sam Kerr. There's lots of other very good players out there, people.
Absolutely. Well, it was a great collective effort for the Australians to get into the top four, and I reckon that snowball effect from the World Cup has really inspired generations of girls, young and old, to partake in the game.
No, it has. It's been fairly strong in the ACC right from the offset. I know that Sacred Heart are up next. Alf De Bono is a dead keen soccer fan, and he was part of their phys ed staff for many years. So they'll be playing in the boys' final. But South Coast, of course, both these colleges have a special football program. South Coast are in both the finals, so full credit to them. It's now the ACC is a wonderful organisation in the way that it tries to cater for all the sports, including when we have the athletics. We have what we call, and the swimming, we have an inclusive program, and a lot of those kids feed into the Paralympics. In fact, we've got a Paralympian this year, Rhiannon Clark.
Yeah, Rhiannon Clark, yes.
Yes, has come through the system. So, there's no sport is overlooked, and certainly football is one of the big, as I say, world game.
Yeah.
And if you look at the names on the list here, you can tell that we're very much a multicultural country with the diversity of names from all parts of the world.
Absolutely, and that's why they call it the world game. People come from all parts of the world to participate in it, and it's a wonderful thing.
When I watch the Olympics, I'm a track and field background, and I keep saying to people, that so many of the sports, I don't think there's too many German handball countries in the world, and even swimming is not universal. So it's pretty much athletics and football that are really the world game, the events that cover the whole world.
Absolutely. At the moment, South Coast leading 1-0 over Burke. Mike scored the only goal. They had another opportunity early on, but it was deemed offside, and South Coast doing plenty of the attacking, but not a lot of rewards. St Norbert's defensive work has been very good.
It's a little bit like hockey. I can remember another one of my sports, chatting with Rick Charlesworth once prior to an Olympics, and he said, when a game is decided by 1 or 2 goals, you go to the Olympics as one of the top 8, and anyone can win it. So it's a little bit different to the games like basketball and Australian rules, where there's lots of scoring, except if you're playing for the Eagles. Like Sunday, I watched the Eagles, and they didn't do any scoring.
Ouch. A few Eagles fans may feel that.
Oh, dear me. I was only there because I'm a Dockers fan, and I was relying on them to get us into
no.
the final.
Oh, no. Well, they'll have to do it the hard way, the Dockers, against Port Adelaide on Sunday.
It will be hard work, but we're getting there. But let's get back to this game. Once St Norbert once again moving up into attack, but they haven't really made anything too positive.
Yeah, well, they had the likes of Masood and George making an impact. They've been getting some good possession, but not a lot of reward as a result of turnovers. But here comes South Coast back into attack. Here they go. Lovely cross into the attacking box. Here's Burke. She's looking to get a double. She had the first goal. Gets a strike. But easily saving that one was Tuali. Watch out for Ava Burke. She's going to be a threat. Clearing ball out to the centre. St Norbert. They need to find a way through. South Coast is like a brick wall in defence. Oh, just going past the pack. Here's Burke looking for a double.
Oh, dear me.
Very close indeed. Burke just getting that one towards the left post. That would have been a huge double for Ava Burke and South Coast.
Well, going into the half-time at 2 down is terribly discouraging, I might say.
Well, if St Norbert can keep that deficit at 1-0 or level it up, they'll go into the second half with a lot of confidence.
Yes, I'm reminded of a story by Mr. Beam where they were down 79-0 at half-time. He said to his team, it's possible to score 79 and a half. They did.
Oh, only Mr. Beam could do that. St Norbert getting hounded in their defensive half by South Coast. They've been magnificent. They've controlled a lot of the possession in this first half. Great work there by Jeeves.
Well, nice, good pass.
Very good pass to the outer side. Chance now for St Norbert, but forced out of play. It'll be thrown in on Arta. Good directed throw there to the path of Masood.
Oh, dear.
But South Coast, they had a lot of numbers around the ball, proving too much. Good pass back into the centre. But a lot of running players in attack. Getting around George with some good agility. Nice through pass to Burke. Burke's on, puts the foot on the accelerator. And another chance at goal. They've had a couple of shots on target of South Coast, but only one has gone.
Yeah, I think one of them need to a little bit more enthusiasm in the boot. But, I don't think it had the speed to get through.
Yeah.
But once again, in my hockey days, I used to say if you've got nowhere to pass it, bounce it off the goalie.
Mike O'Meara in the analyst chair alongside Paul Persick on this grand final day. ACC Soccer Grand Final. It's a wet and cold afternoon. But the conditions, they won't be too bad today. Only a 10% chance of rain. The ground has held up very well, so we should be in for two good matches.
Well, it's certainly better out there on the field than it was riding my motorbike in here this morning. I can tell you that right now, which is why I've come in like a drowned rat and a little bit late.
No, you're not the only one. That makes two of us. When I drove in the wet conditions here today, it wasn't very pleasant.
My car gave up the ghost, so I had to walk home from the garage and hop on the motorbike against my better judgment.
But at least you're here. That's the main thing.
And enjoying this game.
And that's a very good game at the moment. South Coast having plenty of chances to go 2-0 up. But that work in defence from their captain, George, has really given St Norbert a nice little reliever, you know.
Lots of individuals. Those girls are very skilled individually. You can see the control of the ball and moving it around. Occasionally, I think they need to look up before they actually do their pass. So that's a beauty. Oh,
good cross there from
me.
Thompson. Was in the Burke direction. She was looking to go for that one in towards goal, but Tuali, good judgment there, saving another possible goal for South Coast. They've had plenty of chances.
But it's just amazing how some players are natural strikers. You know, the same Kerr, Sam Kerr, of course, being one of them. And I think a number of times, I know when we played at the Olympics, the US game, a ball came across at the very closing moments and would have made a draw, but didn't happen. I thought that's when Sam Kerr would have been very handy.
You get those strikes, just like that strike in the semi-final against England. That is one of the best international level goals that you could ever see by anyone, men or women.
Well, yeah, well out of the area, but just put it right into the corner. And yeah, that, you know, the round ball, it's you know, they've just, you know, the old bend it like Beckham, put a bit of a spin on it and curve it in.
Absolutely. Here's George.
Oh, here we go.
George going along the sideline there. That's not a bad pass, able to get it to Masood. George and Masood have been the ones that have really kept St Norbert in this contest. We're heading into the last 4.5 minutes of regular time.
Well, George and Masood, both regular players. Masood's playing for Fremantle City, of course.
That's right.
And Angela George. Actually, it doesn't say she's playing regularly, but she's certainly listed as an outstanding player.
Masood in the Division 1 under-16 side, plays upper year at club level and only near 9 as well. So, you know, to be in a side like that at such a young age shows how much potential that Masood has got. And speaking of, here is Masood.
Oh, dear.
Look to get around two of them there. One of them was Tegan Ball, but Ball cleverly deflects that one over the line and will be thrown in. Horrell will throw this one back in.
Have to be a decent sort of a throw.
Numbers around the ball for St Norbert here. Good pass by George in mid-air.
One on the wide, one on the wing there. Wrong side.
Yeah, Jeeves' pass just a little bit off.
That's what I was saying. They tend to look down at the ball as they kick, and then by the time they've done that, just a couple of times I've noticed that about the play, but I'm sure they're managers and coaches. You might be able to tell me, what's the difference between a manager and a coach?
Well, I think it's pretty much the same role, but, you know, Doug Hesketh, the coach of South Coast, and Rama Kabwi, the coach of St Norbert, they've all got very important roles in the team.
Oh, no doubt about it. You know, the other thing about team sport is, you know, I found that, you know, with working things like hockey players, if one of your regulars is out, you know, everything around them sort of falls apart. And I think that's what happened with the, you know, with Sam Kerr out of the team for the Olympics. They've really had to readjust to the fact that there's this great big hole, and in her case, a massive, great chasm. So I know, one time we'd sent a right wing out in a hockey team, and so many of our stock plays, the things we did, just didn't come about. So I'm hoping that everyone's fit and well on the field today.
Corner for South Coast. Header comes in. Pack of players converging around it. St Norbert desperate to clear. Chance now for Thompson. South Coast heading towards goal. Numbers around for St Norbert. They'll look to clear the box. Desperate sides, both of them. Bit of back and forth they go. St Norbert can clear it. Goes only as far as Whitstrom Lower. Good skill by Whitstrom Lower. Big strike towards the box. In the Burke direction. Can she get a double? Close to half time. The strike comes in, but narrowly missing the left post.
That's about the third or fourth shot that she's had since I've been here. So she's definitely the designated striker, I would believe.
Yeah, she's playing a big role, is Ava Burke for South Coast. Been in terrific form this season. As George sends this one long. South Coast hounding the attack. Long strike. Getting plenty of curve. And that one just had a little too much on it. Rain very persistent at the moment, but won't be very heavy today. Only a light drizzle forecast throughout the day. And here is Angela George. Great leadership quality she's got in the St Norbert side. Long ball right down the middle. Whitstrom Lower. He's got a couple of teammates in support. One of them's Mansfield. Mansfield goes central this time. Won't be the best result because look at St Norbert. Look at how much numbers they're covering. Whitstrom Lower, however, is able to break through. And now South Coast. Good through ball. And now they have a chance. It's in the direction of Wilson. Wilson does well to recover. Can they get across in the Burke direction? Burke is an open goal. Burke gets it. Goal ski for Burke, and that's 2-0.
Just before half-time. That setup was beautiful, wasn't it?
It was.
That must have been one of their set plays, I think.
Well, they had to work it wide, and they just had more options. They had more options, and St Norbert couldn't get numbers back quickly enough.
Well, it's a bit the standard story. It's when you get the turnovers that you have an open, in the case of this game, the square or circle in the football and the hockey. So, yes, but they all the eyes lit up, and widened, and they were set up. It was just a beautiful setup and too easy. I probably could have kicked that goal.
And you look at the body language on Ava Burke. Even though she's got 2 goals, she knows the job is not done. We're at the end of regular time. There'll be some stoppage time, but that'll be it. Half-time in the ACC Girls Grand Final. And at the moment, it's South Coast in control through Ava Burke. She has given her side a 2-0 lead over St Norbert. I reckon St Norbert no doubt would be a little bit deflated after the first 30 minutes, having conceded a second goal late.
As I was saying, 1 down, it's game on. 2 just makes it that little bit harder. In essence, it means, to win, you've got to get 3.
Certainly do.
You don't want to go to the penalty spot.
No, the penalty spot would be a nightmare for some teams. But at half-time, South Coast in control. They lead at 2-0.
They do. Now, ACC, never a dull moment. We're coming up to 10 athletic carnivals, starting, in fact, next Wednesday. And that's ACC covers the entire state of Western Australia, with schools involved being as far away as St Luke's, Karratha. And there's a little school out that I would have gone to had it been invented, Esperance Anglican Community School on the beach in Esperance.
Oh. How good of a location is that?
And it's one of the few schools, in fact, the 3 schools in the ACC that have borders, country kids coming in. And I was born in Cunnanoppin, would you believe? And they ended up at a boarding school in Perth, which will remain unnamed because it's not in the ACC. But I'll tell you what, would have been very tempting to head down to Esperance. Got teams from Albany, Northam, Kalgoorlie, and several from Bunbury, Bustleton. 10 divisions of the athletics with a total of, say, 10 times 1, 10 times 8 is 80, plus 3, so 83 teams will be competing in the athletics in the weeks to come. And as I mentioned earlier, this wonderful initiative with both swimmers. In fact, speaking of swimmers, there's a girl called Priya Cooper. Until Ali Cole beat her record, she had the most medals for a para swimmer, and she was from St Bridget's College and came through the ACC. And as I said, Rhiannon Clark Rhiannon Clark sort of pretty much right at the fore of athletics. In year 9, when she went to the the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games, won a silver in the 200. And she regularly medals. And for the people not familiar with parasport, there are many categories. And I know when she went to Tokyo, I saw Rhiannon after that, and I said, oh, you drew the short straw, because if you remember the Tokyo Olympics, half the tracks tend to be undercover, and the inside 4 lanes are about ankle deep in water.
Yeah.
And I
The
said,
weather was bad that time at Tokyo for the Olympics.
It was. So Rhiannon was in one of the inside lanes, and I said to her, were you disappointed? She said, no, actually broke the Australian record for my category, and and was first across the line for my category, because they tend to bunch them. So like at athletics, it's T and F, which is track or field. And in her case, she was T. I don't remember the next one, but she was in a range of T34 to T39, and so she was the fastest of her group. And great, wonderful inclusive sport, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that on the television as well. But if you want to see sport in the right spirit, that's what ACC is called.
Absolutely,
and,
sport in the right spirit.
I know that when I talk to the athletics officials, I always say we really enjoy the carnivals down here, because you make a decision and the kids just say, yes, sir, and it's not always the case.
No, it's wonderful, these carnivals, sport in the right spirit, and we see plenty of talent from plenty of schools all around West Australia.
Right, as I say, this covers what they do cover. There's the ICSA and PSA are the schools that have been around forever and a day. And when I first joined the ACC back in 1988, the end of year party was a barbecue at Rob Langer's place.
Oh, really?
Rob Langer was, some wonderful, the ACC sort of grown from the Christian Brothers getting all the boys together to have a bit of a run or a swim, and then St. Louis joined them and a few other schools. And through the time, introduced the girls. But so back in 1988, Rob took over in 1988, and he really formalised all the things. But prior to that, a man called Ollie Pickett, he's an absolute legend. He was a sports master at St. Mark's, which is now Chisholm. And he, when he finished his time with the ACC and with his teaching, he went and set up a recalcitrant students group, kids that didn't like school. And then one of the kids said, are you able to make a wheelchair that I can use for my nana? So they got some bike wheels. They used to collect the ring pulls off cans and make the aluminium.
Like golly.
Ollie Pickett is about to send out his 60,000th wheelchair to areas with landmines.
Wow.
So the ACC's got a wonderful spirit built in with those sort of people in the system. And he moved out of the school there and set up a men's workshop. And what he used to do is the street kids that were homeless and what have you come in to give them something to eat and drink, and they give him a bit of a hand. But so a little bit of the history of the ACC there. But as I say, grown like Topsy since then. The annual dinner now is hundreds of people, and just a wonderful outlet for the kids.
Oh, it certainly is. And kids of all ages, kids of all schools that are associated with the ACC. The referees are back out on the ground. The South Coast players are back out. And in just a moment, St. Norbert will make their way back out onto the field. It's 2-0. South Coast lead. Ava Burke scoring a double in the first half. She is on a roll. Who is going to stop Ava Burke and South Coast at the present time? Well, St. Norbert have got to get a couple of quick goals if they want to get back into the game.
Well, certainly Ava's, I'm sure she has, but the pass that she received last time was a gimme. It was beautiful. So you don't get goals off your own bat. You get it as part of a planned and constructive attacking game, and that was exactly what we saw. Just can't believe the first time I was involved in ACC, we were using the old velodrome pitch. Compared to this, it was very, very primitive.
Yeah, it was back in those days, but we're in this great new facility, the Sam Kerr Football Centre, home of the Perth Glory A-League women's side this coming season. Away we go, St. Norbert with the kick-off for this second half. And once again, Angela George puts it long into the attacking half, but with no reward. South Coast again controlling the ball from defence. A long through ball there from Wickstrom Lower. And that's going to be out of play.
So where do the Glory men play? They still playing at East Perth? There?
Still play at HBF Park.
Yeah.
Still play at HBF Park.
I had a feeling when I first heard that it was Sam Kerr, I thought they'd renamed and developed that, but I've just walked through here and all the technology out the back, and of course the setup we have here is beautiful.
Oh, it's amazing. It's a great professional setup here at the Sam Kerr Football Centre. They've done well, all the team at Football West. They're taking football in this state into the future.
Well, it's very much the corollary. It's in fact the inverse of what happened after the 1976 Olympics. We won no gold medals, so we created the Institute of Sport, whereas here the ladies football, we did so well that we've created this centre. So nice to see the government paying some attention.
Absolutely, it is totally worthwhile, especially for what has happened in the World Cup last year and of course the 12 months since. The ball's on St Norbert's attacking half, but again, South Coast just continue to repel and allow their players to go to their one-on-one matchups and fight for those turnovers. Thrown in by Leonardo once again. Much better throw in this time to Masood, who's got good agility. Oof. She tries to strike that one, but it ricocheted off her South Coast opponent. Good attacking line penetration here by St Norbert, but again, it looks to be turned over. South Coast with some extra numbers there. And they'll once again repel. Ball. Good guided pass. Burke able to cross that one, but St Norbert with numbers. Here's George. The captain just not able to retain possession on
nice
this occasion.
Nice through ball. Who's got the legs?
Good through ball there. Looks like it's going to be Thompson. Thompson. Can she cross it in? She does, but a little too late on that occasion.
It'll be a nice corner though.
And it'll be a good one if Thompson can get all of it. It's Stride that cleared that one. So it'll be a corner kick coming up for St Norbert. So South Coast rather. And Whitstrom Lower will see this one towards the box.
I always feel it's an advantage on this side have a left footer because you can curl the ball into the goals, and of course the right foot on the other side. So let's see whether they have a designated left footer.
The rain starts to come down again. It held off for a little bit, but it's only just a little bit heavier. Whitstrom Lower with the corner. Gets all of it. Burke with the header. Didn't get all of it. Burke has another go at it. Third chance for Burke for a hat-trick. Oh,
you're kidding.
Burke! 3 goals in a row. Oh, Ava Burke, take a bow. A hat-trick in a final. You can't get any better than that. And she is pumped. Dear.
I made a comment earlier about this. It kept kicking it along the ground. Well, that certainly wasn't. It was a chip shot. That was a 9-iron. Straight over the head. How cool was that?
Well, if there was a player of the match for this grand final, you'd certainly give it to Ava Burke.
Okay, well, this time goals. I'm giving her full credit. I'm not going to pass the credit off to the wing or anybody else. Ava, that was you, lady.
Oh, that was a fine beautiful solo effort.
Oh, what a beautiful chip shot.
Oh, it was like a wedge into the green.
As I said, a 9-iron or a sand wedge. It was just, because all the legs in the way. It makes me laugh when you watch AFL football. They kick it straight into someone and say, well, nice smother. The guy didn't even see it coming.
Nice through ball.
Oh, God, they want to
roll.
Ball
here. Burke, this is for 4 in a row. Didn't get all of it this time.
I think she... I'm trying to think of the golf term where you take a big hunk of grass out from underneath it. Showing my lack of knowledge about golf now. But, oh, dear. She shanked that one. And we'll use that as the phrase.
St Norbert now looking to work the ball to the outer side. Good through ball there, but easily turned over by Whitstrom Lower. They get it back, St Norbert. Masood, she's tried her heart out this afternoon. Turned over again, this time. Ball. Works it down the line. Burke. It's been the Ava Burke show, but unable to keep it in this time. Spirit of thought for the bloke there carrying the brolly on the outer side.
I wonder if I can borrow that for the motorbike ride home.
I think the helmet should do all right.
Well, the interesting part is I came in and the front of me, the back of me was dry.
What about the front of your shirt? That was that dry?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, that's a bummer.
No, when I finally got home after the car broke down, I didn't even take, I was so late, I jumped on the bike and started riding, and I thought, there's a raincoat, I'm sitting under this seat, and I didn't want to be any later than necessary. But we had the capable hand. I'm almost redundant and superfluous here. You're doing such a good job.
South Coast will throw this one in. It's in attack. They have been absolutely devastating this afternoon. 3 goals to Ava Burke, a hat-trick. You can't get any better than that in a grand final. Wittstrom lower, good control. Hand off to Burke, who's pushed up to the attacking zone. Cross into the pack. Here's a chance now. Good strike into towards goal from Wilson, but that one doesn't get all of it. It's just out to the right post.
Certainly had the strength of kick, just not the direction.
South Coast, comfortable leaders 3-0 at the present time and 25 minutes away from what could be championship glory. Long driving ball. Good control by Yonada. Nice centering pass, 3 around for St. Norbert. They've got plenty of options here now. Jeeves is one of them, but turned over right into the path of Wittstrom lower.
Great ball play.
South Coast, they've just been controlling it better all throughout the match.
As I say, some of the footwork is really very impressive.
George challenged and she's down. That's a free kick.
Next they have the opposite system to the AFL. Put the point towards where it's going, not from whence it's coming.
That's right. Very different system in football compared to Aussie rules. George came charging in but lost out this time to Wilson.
Offside, careful.
Sideline referees in great position to point out if there is an offside, but not on this occasion.
We had 2 of them waiting for the flag, but didn't get there. Okay, away we go again.
Turned over by South Coast. They work it to the near side. That's a good through ball there into territory, but just having the better leg speed on that occasion was Machado, and she's able to allow those numbers for St. Norbert to get back into the box.
Yeah, but South Coast sort of forced the kick out, but as you say, it gives the defenders a chance to sort of form a little bit stronger defence, because that was one of those rebounds which we spoke earlier.
Well into the 38th minute of this grand final. 3-0 for South Coast. They're in devastating form. A couple of substitutions now. And there's one. Looks like coming off is Molly Jones. And she's going to... no, it's not Molly Jones. It's Brianna Thompson, I should say. She's going to get the vest. And a new player coming on for the South Coast side. New substitution, we'll tell you who that is in a moment. Directing the ball well here at South Coast.
Yeah, both teams got a big roster here. Lots of options for substitutions.
Thrown in now. South Coast again maintaining control, but it's turned over by St. Norbert. They try to centre it. Now South Coast again with so many options.
More speedy from St. Norbert.
And this, of course, that being Ionada. Good ball in the Masood direction.
Come down to the legs.
And just having the better leg speed on that occasion was Mansfield. Forces that one out wide. Ionada keeps it alive, but barely. Just on the side of a boot there, but that's going to be thrown in.
So your definition of keeping it alive and mine is slightly different. I thought you killed it.
Oh.
That one needed CPR. Unfortunately, as you say, off the side of the boot, but full credit to her to get down there to try and save it.
It was a good effort by Ionada to go at it once again, but again, that one's out of play.
I used to say to my wingers in the hockey, one of the girls coach said, I've had all these passes to the corner and I've missed 2, and I said, the time I'll be angry is when you're not there to have a shot at them. So that was girl from St. Norbert, ran down, couldn't control it, but she did get there.
Horrell challenged, but play on, the umpire, the referee says. No whistle at this time. Burke.
Maybe that's one of the skills they're not perfecting, that falling into the ground and clutching your knee that we see so often.
Ionada.
Oh, nice ball. Now it comes through. Oh, there's the through pass.
Well, if you're making comparisons between the two sides of how they've controlled possession, South Coast have been a lot more calculated. They're playing with greater composure.
Oh dear, nearly. That was what we used to call the old 1-2, give and go. That, full credit to Norbert, interrupted it. Threw out the leg.
Throwing it in will be Sophie Rennie.
Well, it's Norbert taking control.
Well, they've got it in their defensive, in their goal box, in the box, but they've been able to work their way out. Here's George. Good agility
well
shown
done
by the St. Norbert captain. Just able to get the pass away in time, barely, but the pressure is coming in droves from South Coast. But again, Georgie Onada, Onada's down, and that's her free kick. Onada was challenged, but made contact with the leg first before it even got to the ball.
I always worry about non-contact sports like soccer. It's like football and basketball.
Yeah.
Non-contact sports, mate.
Long ball from George. Free kick, and you hear the cheers. You hear the cheers from
the St. Norbert Cannons.
The St. Norbert camp.
And they call themselves the Cannons. I've on my athletic notes, I can tell you where that came from, but I didn't bring them with me today.
Oh, no.
All my history of St. Norbert going down they're out in Queen's Park, St. Norbert.
Yep. Back in 65?
Yes, they've been out there for quite some time. So I'll say that back in the 1980s.
And they're mostly a young side. They're comprising mainly of Year 9 and Year 10. So
yes,
for them to get to a grand final is a huge experience for the side, regardless of the result.
Oh, well, of course, also augurs terribly well for the future.
It certainly does. Great effort by Onada, keeping that one alive. Onada, third go at it. Here's a chance. Masood in the box. And a great save there by Tuali. The second effort from Masood was just incredible. Able to force her way towards goal. Got a good strike on it, but didn't get as much on it as she would have wanted.
I'm still trying to adjust to the fact that we've got the screen in front of us and the game out there.
Hey, it's a good mix. It's not bad.
I go to when we do the athletics, of course, we had the same thing with the wonderful Two Monkeys and Kelvin and his team.
Oh, they're a wonderful team.
They
Very
are.
talented.
We had a different crew last year and just didn't have the professionality and never too much to ask of the Two Monkeys. It's yet to work out the concept of the name. But
yeah, I'm struggling to find out myself as well, but shout out to Kelvin and his team putting this broadcast together. A wonderful job as South Coast cleared the defensive line, but Machado able to force St. Norbert back into their attacking half. Through ball was a little bit scrappy with Stroloma, who's been very good in that defensive half for South Coast.
Oh, beautiful.
Good skill there. This is Pawson. And now South Coast again looking to do some damage. George.
Could have been very dangerous.
George getting the deflection, and that one's just come off Saunders, and that'll be a corner.
And that was a smother by the girl from St. Norbert. Just made sure that cross pass wasn't going to happen. Well done to her. Yes, they're having the young ones in there, but as you were telling me earlier that one of the girls who was at Masood is in fact playing under 16s, which means that, and you say she was playing upper division or something?
Yeah.
So I think we're going to be seeing a couple more seasons of her on the field as well.
I think so. She's got great potential. Corner coming from Rennie. Can they make it 4-0 South Coast? It's not a bad kick. That one was going towards goal. But Tuali with a great save.
If it had been about a foot taller, it might have been very dangerous, but well done, goalie.
Would have been the impossible goal as well. Rennie got good boot on it.
Yeah, I said sometimes they undercook their kicks, but that was a lovely firm strike of the ball.
Horrell along the wing. Good leg speed Horrell has got.
Through pass.
Through ball wasn't too bad, but it was just out of reach of Machado.
The South Coast Baptist had 3 in front of it, so I think even if it got through, there would have been a degree of difficulty in putting it into the net.
Here's Burke. Where's St. Norbert's ball? Around about 15 minutes left in this game. We're into the 45th minute of this girls' grand final. South Coast just about 15 minutes away from celebrating. Going down is Arachi as soon as she kicked that one away. That's going to remain a St. Norbert's ball. It'll be thrown. For a throw will be Sophie Horrell. Horrell playing in the under-14 Division 2 Kalamunda side. Great development she's been able to achieve this year on the field. A standout play for both junior and senior sides over at St. Norbert. Here's George. George getting boot to it was Jeeves. Bit of back and forth now. St. Norbert look to keep this one alive, but can't do so. It's going to be thrown in. South Coast now. They get this one down the line. Burke in mid-air. Good control by Burke, forces her way into the attacking half,
nice.
goes past one, goes past the second. How about
Goodness
this?
me.
Still Burke.
Oh,
Stopped in her
well
tracks.
done, well done.
Well done there by Stride. Stride clears that one away.
Well, full credit because Burke had just demonstrated how hard it was to get the ball from her. So, well done, Stride.
Stride clears again for St Norbert. South Coast turning it over once again. It's a bit of back and forth.
You're talking about the skills when the South Coast receive the ball. It doesn't bounce 2 metres away from them. You know, they sort of control it from the moment of receiving it.
What's the composure that they've got, this South Coast side? They're playing with a lot more calculated composure. That's how you'd really sum up this performance from South Coast. The kick deflected. South Coast again. Now, but to get possession, they're just waiting in numbers to take the turnover. And whenever St Norbert have been able to enter that forward half, South Coast have just got that extra player for the turnover. Dangerous challenge there.
Goodness me.
It was Rennie put herself on the line there.
A bit of a risky pass, I dare say.
Well, so at Norbert, they've been willing to take risks, but they haven't come off in this game.
Well, you know, that was the old story that Jack Nicholas said, you know, the harder I practice, the luckier I get. So I think there's evidence of a lot of training and a lot of skill development. My lesson to all my... Oh, yes, come on, and we're away.
Through ball. Here's Burke.
Oh,
Burke,
you're
what about that? Burke for four, but what a great defensive stop. Flocco.
Well done, well done. Oh, good girl, well done.
Emily Flocco, the saviour on this occasion. St Norbert, well, that ball was a brilliant through ball in the direction of Burke. Put on great acceleration, but Flocco was the one that saved St Norbert's bacon.
That's what it's all about. You know, obviously, you know, down 3-0, to see them still putting their game or everything they know into practice, it's full credit to them and their coaches. I had a video of Pele, and he used to get to training even when he was the world's highest paid player. He'd get there before everybody else and do basics for an hour.
Oh, what about that?
And that's, you know, what I would say. You know, I would say that to all my sports people, athletics being my forte, but I've coached swimming and hockey and a lot of other things, basketball, the basic skills, and I think that's must be what these people from South Coast do, because their simple control of the ball is just that little bit better. Not that time.
Yeah, the cross was turned over by Onada, who ran into a wall of South Coast players, but they've emerged with it.
Oh,
Burdett able to clear that one, but that one is going over the line, and it'll be a throw going to Flocco. Flocco throwing this one in just by her team's bench. 12 minutes left of regular time. Again, forcing that one out of play. South Coast content to chew up a little bit of time. They know that this game is theirs. 3-0, thanks to Ava Burke's hat-trick.
We almost had the 4-0.
Almost a quadruple there for Ava Burke.
That's the word I was looking for.
But regardless if it was a hat-trick or 4 goals, I reckon the player of the match would be safely in her keeping.
I think so.
Speaking of, here is Burke. Able to get a foot to it, but that one's over the goal line, and that'll be a corner.
Right, so deflected over, that's good. Now this is the side for the right footer. I was going to make years ago when I was competing for the University Athletic Club, they all said, oh, you're a left footer, aren't you? Because I started with my left foot forward, and I said, because I put my left foot forward, I said, no, because you're a Catholic. And when you're a Catholic, when you genuflect, you put your left foot forward. And so I was thinking that, you know, maybe St Norbert could have a good left footer, but well, that was not well, not one of the finer skill displays there from young lady. I think she was trying to put that curl on I was talking about.
Yeah, a little bit of curl on that corner, but didn't get all of it there, did Ava Burke on this occasion.
Yep, so too much curl, not enough kick. will allow her that little indiscretion because, well, speaking of indiscretions.
10 minutes of regular time left as that one's out of play. And bringing it back in will be South Coast. This will be Sophie Rennie. Rennie throws it in, good control. Able to come back to Rennie. Nice centering pass to Wittstrom lower. Through the two contenders there. Unable to get a kick away. George does well, but Wittstroloma does well. Strikes off a step. Didn't get all of it on the second attempt. Now a chance for South Coast again.
Pretty to watch.
Great skill being shown as they send the ball over to their captain in Burdett. From the wing, they've controlled it brilliantly here as the sun comes out right on cue. And now Telford. Telford again working it out wide. Long ball down the line, doesn't come off, and it'll be a throw-in.
They'll still gain some ground.
South Coast, 9 minutes away from glory. Good cross there from Saunders, centering that ball towards the circle.
Through pass to the wing would be nice about now.
And they'll be able to get it, but might have been too late on that occasion. It was intended for Thompson, but that one's taken out of play. We'll have a corner.
I've always wondered whether they would consider, rather than the penalty shots, the team that got the greatest number of corners, or some other alternative.
Well, South Coast have had more corners in this game
so
compared to St Norbert on this occasion.
Well, I think that also gives you that indication of who's mostly in attack. I know in hockey they got tired of that, and they got the situation where they'd have a player pick up the ball and try and outplay the goalie rather than just have a flick.
That's right.
And although every time I look at hockey they've changed the rules, I'd be terrible.
Wittstrom low up, corner. Good work by Tuali, the goalkeeper.
Goalie.
Brilliantly done by Tuali. Just tapped it to her advantage and able to take grasp of it. Masood goes down, and that'll be a free kick.
Give her 50 metres, come on.
I'm not sure about 50 metres in the round ball game, but imagine if they did have a 50-metre penalty in the round ball game.
That would be a metre inside the goal.
No doubt. George.
And even I can get it from there.
George, that was a good pass to Horrell, who controls it well up against Mansfield. Well done by Horrell. Good skill being shown. Just not able to get the clean pass away. And that's an obvious one there. Challenge there on the body. And a free kick for South Coast.
And quickly taken.
And very well done as well. They've got some space in the centre. Needing to put it through. She looked to slice the traffic herself, but she got challenged there, and that's going to be a free kick. Did get some impact on the leg there.
Just watching that offside. They've eliminated offside from hockey now, which I thought was a great relief.
Yeah,
and hockey, to be competitive, kept changing its rules, I think. Oh, it's a biggie.
Good long kick towards the goal. Oh, it let slip. Tuali let it slip. What a big goal.
Oh, dear me.
Oh, what a strike from the centre. But Tuali, unluckily, lets that one slip through her fingers, and South Coast make it 4-0.
When it is not your day, it is not your day. Oh, that is so sad.
That's stiff luck. That's stiff luck. I've got a feel for Tuali.
Oh, she's done such a good job.
Absolutely. But it was a great effort to get to the path of the ball, but that's one of the most cruel bits about being a goalkeeper. You let it slip through your fingers.
I'm going to go with wet ball. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a bit of a wet ball. It's always very difficult, in these conditions when it's wet and it's a bit heavy as
well. Sized
it
up, got in position, put the two hands up, straight through.
Substitution being made just by South Coast, so the ball has had to be brought back. 4-0 the lead, South Coast. They are looking dominant.
That was sad. I was hoping that St Norbert might just get one on the board before the close. I wasn't planning on another one for South Coast.
Masood, that was a great effort in that one-on-one, and it's going to be a St Norbert possession. It'll be thrown. So St Norbert will get the throw through Ionata. They're looking to rush it forward here. The throw is intended for Masood. Good control being shown there by Parson and Blizzard. St Norbert numbers here. Oh, what about the skill and aggression, but that's a little too much. Jeeves got the free kick.
I'm going to say aggression and skill. I think aggression dominated there.
And that certainly did on this moment.
But, the ref's right on the game. No complaints about the referee.
Chloe Smith, the central referee, tasked for this grand final. She's
Yep.
done a wonderful job.
Well, she has. And,
Masood, good through ball there. It's into the path of Ionada, but
nicely cleared to the sideline.
well
so no
cleared
corner.
there by Rennie. Corner for St Norbert.
Right, now, I thought they went over the sideline. Is that when it's deliberate, is that what happens, is it?
No, when it goes over the goal line, that's from the opposition team, that's usually a corner. But on this occasion, it's a goal kick. It was off the boot of St Norbert.
Okay, that's what sorry, I thought it said corner.
It was just in front of the goal line, just by the net.
Well, that's why I thought it was a nice clearing shot, because that's...
And the clearing kick well deflected by Masood. And it will have to be another goal kick for South Coast.
well,
The whistle sounded. We've got a delay in the game. And the referee, Chloe Smith, the central referee, is making her way to the St Norbert bench. This is interesting. And having a chat with St Norbert manager there, Jacob Aquino.
right. One of the original members of the ACC, Wally Aquino. He left the school system and I think went into sportswear. So I could have a chat with Jacob, see if he's related to Wally. Wonderful man that he is.
As you can see there, about 4 or 5 substitutions being made. There's 4 players on the bench for St Norbert, and 4 of them are going to come on. 4 and 5, make that 5 players coming on. So a bit of late drama with the substitutions now.
Oh, I think they give the kids I don't think it's going to affect the outcome of the game,
No.
but that's why you build up your experience, a little bit of time on the track.
Burdett with a long ball. But South Coast again force their way
nice
into attack.
now.
Good through ball here in the direction of Thompson.
Good running from the girl from St Norbert. Oh,
Thompson
just a
does
great
well.
Oh, dear me.
Deflection went the wrong way. Burke with the back heel. And that one is easily grasped by Tuali, the St Norbert goalie.
I think she was praying for someone just behind her. It's that new thing that's trickled into the AFL where they just...
Oh, what a strike! Oh, from literally long range, make that 5-0.
Don't turn your back on the game for a minute, Michael. Goodness me. Oh, dear.
Oh, that is an incredible strike. That's goal number 2. Now, the domination for South Coast increases. It's a 5-0 lead, and we're just approaching the 60 minutes.
Oh. I was just sort of waiting for the ball to be cleared, and it wasn't.
No, it went the other way and into the net. Now, that's a Sam Kerr-esque strike right out of the gate.
Yeah, just totally unexpected. Good loft of the ball and unexpected. Yeah.
Good agility shown by Ainada. Seeing her options further up the ground. Good through ball from
Get yourselves a
Masood.
goal, girls. Come on.
Masood wasn't able to withstand the challenge from Whitstrom Lower. St Norbert able to get numbers there.
Header. Come on, oh, that's a good girl.
Navarro does well.
It's a through ball, but
So
it's
do Jeeves.
only through to South Coast.
Well, whenever they found their way into attack St Norbert, in came South Coast for the easy turnover.
That's the other sign of the South Coast is that they create position whenever they're not on the ball. They're trying to think of the best place they can be.
And St Norbert fortuitously clear that one. Seconds tick down. 5-0 South Coast. They have sealed it in dominating style. 5-0 lead. They have been the team.
Oh, pretty.
Masood getting great cheers with that direct challenge. But turning that one over almost immediately there was Crichton. Burdett, the captain. Lovely pass to the outer side.
Oh, yes.
Through ball to Thompson.
Oh, no,
Just over Thompson's head
good
there.
header.
Seconds tick down. And that'll be a direct challenge and a free kick. They play on with the advantage. Burke, can she seal it at the last second? And she does. That is brilliant. Ava Burke, make that 4 goals. a 4-goal showing. She has been absolutely magnificent. Ava Burke, 4 goals in a great solo grand final performance. I mean, if I was a recruiter for the further leagues, watch out for Ava Burke, number 15 for South Coast.
Well, the Ladies Soccer Association doesn't have to go far. They've just got to walk upstairs.
Absolutely. Ava Burke, 4 goals.
And that was just, just nicely done. It wasn't a gimme. The goalie was doing, she's done well all day, I think, against a...
It's over.
That's it.
It's over.
Signed, sealed and delivered.
South Coast, in dominant style, have taken the ACC girls football title for 2024. 6-0 over St Norbert. And it goes to show the difference that experience can do for your side. And South Coast really showed it and then some. Congratulations, South Coast are the champions.
They certainly are.
A richly deserved victory. They led 2-0 at half-time and a stunning further 4 goals.
So Dawn Clements, the principal down at South Coast, obviously supporting and encouraging the sport on her patch. It's amazing how the people at the top, Sacred Heart had the wonderful Peter Bothy as their principal for 12 years, and they dominated ACC sport, and they're coming up next in the football boys final. So without the encouragement and the support and the other facilities, what have you, the teams, they're coming from right at the top, the principal and the school board. These things don't happen. So full credit to both the schools. As we say, watch out for St Norbert with these, year 8, 9 and 10 girls mature.
Absolutely.
And they'll get the experience. Just some of the things you saw today showed a lack of experience. And a little bit of skill development will all happen.
Absolutely, it'll happen. There's further development, further improvement. St Norbert, they'll go on. They're a young side and they'll get plenty of experience. But in just a moment, we're going to go to ground level for the presentations with the players, the referees and the Football West officials in just a moment. Congratulations to South Coast Baptist. They are the ACC Girls Champions.
Yes, just looking down at the players you've seen today, of course we had Mary Massoud. She plays for Fremantle and was certainly the one of the more talented of the players from St Norbert. And Lara Lonata, and she's also from Fremantle City. They've been part of the college team for a couple of years, so they'll be getting even stronger and more talented next year. Sophie Horrell, she's from Kalamunda City, come down the hill to Queen's Park, joined the St Norbert crew. And Angela George, of course, we saw her featuring very nicely throughout the day as well. South Coast Baptist, the player of the match, goodness me. Who do you reckon that might be? Yes, goodness, 4 goals in the final. What a great game that was. Their football academy is producing the goods, really is. And as I've said, full credit to their principal. Going back to St Norbert, principal there, Sharon Rainsford. St Norbert, they've had some wonderful performance from their school. They've got a very strong track team. And the Jansen Van Rensburg boys certainly came through there. Another graduate of St Norbert, someone you might have heard of, Peter Bowles. Peter Bowles spent the first half of his life as a refugee and ended up in Queensland and finally came to Western Australia, and they were wanted to play basketball for St Norbert when the school sports came up. and they had the house meeting. You know, the classroom all got together. Who's going to run in the athletics? Someone said Peter Bowles pretty quick, miss. And the rest is history. Peter Bowl been to 3 Olympics now. Been through some tough physical and emotional times. So the ACC feeding in at the highest level. And did mention earlier, you know, Rhiannon Clark, of course. So keep an eye out for Rhiannon at the Paralympics. We're doing a little bit of a history of the ACC. As I said, it goes right back to the 1930s. There is a book, it's called In the Right Spirit, and it's available from the ACC site. If you're a student of history, it gives a very good insight into the history of education, certainly in the private school sector of Western Australia. I made mention it was initially just the Christian Brothers colleges and a couple of other schools which no longer exist. And then over the time the girls were included, and then in 1988 the Catholic Education Commission created its first co-educational school, which is Corpus Christi. But in the meantime, so many schools had combined to become co-educational. One of the juggernauts of that system is Chisholm College. So CBC Highgate moved out to Bedford and became St Mark's, and they combined with a little tiny school called St Thomas Aquinas School for Girls. And they are now Chisholm College. And some of the other schools which are single gender, like Servite, have just incorporated girls into their program. Speaking of schools that have gone from single gender to co-educational, Guildford Grammar School has joined the ACC, and when they've been in our carnivals, they really have been doing the lion's share of the point scoring. So it's a bit of a trend that some of the other schools might like to watch out for. The PSA, of course, with their 7 schools. So St Louis combined with a school called Loretto to become John 23rd College.
Sports operations manager with the ACC, and I just wanted to first of all say
the mic downstairs.
Congratulations to both our senior girls teams. That was a fantastic game of football, and you should be really, really proud for coming.
Broadcast of the soccer. Trent Sharp from the ACC. He's the 2IC out there, and he's just announcing the results we already know, but he'll be making a few comments and certainly congratulating both teams for getting this far. We go back, as I said, to what led to the competition.
On my right-hand side, we've got Perth. Dave Lewis from Football West, the General Manager of Football. Just to say also a word of congratulations to both the 2 girls teams today, and then we'll get into our final procession of the medallions in our trophy. Thanks, Tash.
Hey guys, congratulations to both teams today. I popped out and was able to watch a bit of the game, and both teams played excellently. It was amazing to see your energy and enthusiasm. My role is female football manager, and it is my job to ensure that we continue to have amazing opportunities for you girls to play and continue playing. So it's epic to see the support that was here today, and yeah, I just wanted to congratulate both teams on an amazing game. Well done, guys.
Thank you very much, Tash. And I'm now just going to actually pass over to our captains from both teams. So I'm just going to invite Angela George and also Brooke Burdett just to come up and also say a word on behalf of their teams. So I'll pass to Angela. Thank you, Angela George.
Hello, I just want to say a big thank you for everyone who came down to support us. It was an absolute privilege to make it this far in the competition. I want to thank my team for playing their absolute best, and for the coaches who put in their time and effort to be here, and for the whole community for organising this event. Thank you. Oh, and for the other team, sorry, for the other team for being here and being a great sport. Sorry.
Thank you, Angela, and to our South Coast Baptist captain, Brooke Burdett.
First of all, good job to St Norwich, put up a good fight today, a good game of football. Big thank you to the ACC and Football West for organising this, and all the coaches, Dougie and all the and Maya and all the South Coast players. Good job, you did well today. Thank you to everyone who came, and Go South Coast.
Thank you to both our captains. Now we would like to just also do a couple of quick final thank yous, and I think we want to put a big round of applause and acknowledgement for our referees that controlled our game today. So to Chloe Smith, our central referee, and our two sidelines, Roland Turk and Georgia Blaine, thank you very much, and a round of applause thank you for our match officials. The grand final game today had an MVP awarded by our Football West referees. So I can announce that the MVP today of the grand final was a really strong, powerful performance, controlled the game through the sort of midfield centre position, definitely controlled the possession for their team and a major driver in the game. And that was to number 7, Isabella Wainwright. Yep, you can come in. Good girl. Well done. And now moving on to our trophy presentation. Obviously, it was a fantastic game. I think the result and the score doesn't actually play homage to how close the game was. It was really a battle, especially after South Coast scored that initial goal, I think, in the first 3 or 4 minutes. After that, it was a real tug of war there for probably the next 25 minutes. South Coast still had opportunities, girls, and sometimes that's football. If you take those half opportunities and sort of put one in the back of the net, it can change the whole momentum of a game. So really, really strong effort. Like I've said, never drop your heads. Be really proud you came out today and represented your school, St Norbert girls. I know a lot of you are not in year 12. Some of you are younger in year 9 and year 10 and things like that. So we'd love to see you back here representing your school again at this level again next year. However, our champions, and this is the 4th year running in a row. So the competition's been running for 6 years, and South Coast Baptist have now won the championship in the girls' senior soccer for 4 years. A big round of applause after a fantastic game to South Coast Baptist. If we've got our captain again that would like to come forward and just, Brooke, and just collect our trophy cup. And I'm also going to now call out our girls just for their medallions as we come out as well. I might just get Dave and also Tash, if you want to just grab some of the medals in a second. Okay, Rain Mansfield, Maya Whitstromlier, Brooke Burdett, Alyssa Pawson, Abby Blizzard, Anastasia Suplasevla, that's a long one, Suplo, Super Glove, Abby Blizzard. We've had Molly Jones, Shreya Nandi did a great job down there as goalkeeper, Saskia Wilson, Brianna Thompson, Masio Hua, Sophie Rennie, Caitlin Taylor-Forth, Tegan Bell, Ava Burke, and Isabella Wainwright, our MVP. And Maisie Hughes. Beautiful. Congratulations, girls. We're going to have a chance for a photo in a minute with our trophy as well. But big final round of applause, our champions for 224, South Coast Baptist. Thank you very much. So just before we get back onto our next game, we've actually got Sacred Heart versus South Coast Baptist. They're going to kick off in our senior boys final in a minute. We'll have a chance for a quick photo with the girls, and then after that we invite everyone to stay behind, please, watch and support the boys game, and we'd love to see you back here again next year. Thank you very much. Okay, girls, we'll get a quick photo, I think. Maybe you want the grandstand in the background?
And there you are, South Coast. They are the champions in the ACC girls football competition for season 2024. That is a team of champions right there. A superb performance, and they richly deserve their triumph here today. But that's all the action. That's not all the action we've got coming your way. In just a little bit, we've got the boys' grand final between South Coast, who are looking for the double. They go up against Sacred Heart. It should be an exciting boys' contest here today at the Sam Kerr Football Centre. Stay where you are. We'll be back with the boys' grand final shortly.
just sparing a thought there. I've talked about the principals of the schools. Didn't mention the coaches of the two girls' teams. Very remiss of me. You probably did it because you're so terribly organised. But Doug Hesketh is the coach of the boys and the girls, or the
That's right.
ladies and the young men. And as we said, we mentioned Jacob Aquino and Rama Kabwe, the coaches from St Norbert's, coach and manager respectively. So full credit to Doug. Two teams in the grand final, and certainly had his girls tuned to a very high level. So looking at the schools coming into this one, South Coast Baptist, we pretty much know that they are very talented. The group is predominantly year 10 and 12 students. They play at various levels throughout the state and community, and they have a very strong work ethic, we are told, good skill level, and I believe that because I've seen it with the girls. They work very hard for each other in their games and training. That's what team sport's all about as they move out on the field. South Coast won the boys in 2019 and 2020. They were run up in 23 to Servite College on penalties, the worst way to finish a grand final. On the road to the final, the boys from South Coast began the one-day carnivals. They topped the preliminary pool at Lark Hill. The boys defeated John 23rd 3-0 at home in a strong round of 16. They then won the quarter-final 6-0 against Colby, so they like the goalkeeper must be pretty good. South Coast emerged 3-0 victorious in the semi-final against LaSalle College, Mountain Midland. Dylan Scott's the captain, he's number 23. The goalkeeper is Finlay Chaffee, number 1, with Matthew Brandt, number 31, as the reserve goalkeeper. Some of their outstanding players, Charlie Graham from Fremantle, plays the Fremantle 11s team. Matthew Bowen, the Red Stars on the 20s. Jordan Callahan from Mandurah City is in their first 11 team. And Miss Mpunga and Tino Matima are Perth Glory players, and the NPL, their first team. Now, Sacred Heart, I was speaking about principals who have a profound effect on their sporting traditions, and the wonderful Peter Bothy from up at Sacred Heart, and Alf De Bono when it comes to football. Those two, Peter being the principal of Sacred Heart College, and Alf, and a very big soccer fan and a very talented man with his coaching. So they've, let's have a look. It's the 6th year of the competition. Over 55 secondary schools are in the competition. So Sacred Heart, of course, based in Sorrento. Interesting backstory. Sacred Heart was originally a little girls' school in Mount Lawley, and they had boarders. And the school got a bit too big, and they had nowhere to house their boarders, so they bought a block of land right out in the Never Never. And everyone said, why the heck would you buy a block of land way up there in the bush? They bought a block in up in Sorrento, where they built a boarding house. And then, of course, the Mount Lawley school closed down. The school became a co-ed school, and Sacred Heart, the juggernaut of ACC sport. The athletics, I think it's something like 22 years that they've won the A-grade athletics. The A-grade swimming, they've been swapping and changing a little bit with John 23rd, another who've become the other strength of the top of the ACC. Those two, particularly in the athletics and swimming. And their soccer, I can remember going back to 1994 or 5, the soccer grand final. I was coaching Santa Maria, and we played Sacred Heart, and that's another story. In fact, we beat them, but on penalties, and that's no way to win a final, I've been told by Alf De Bono. The boys rode to the victory to the final from Sacred Heart. They're part of the NAS pool. They won against Chisholm, Servite, Newman, John 23rd. The boys played Mother Teresa. Now, Mother Teresa's a very new little school down in Baldivis, and I think they've only just got. This is maybe the first or second year. It's probably the second year they've had year 12s. In the quarter-final, the boys from Sacred Heart beat All Saints 6-2 in a very attacking game. At least someone scored against them. It's more than I can say for South Coast Baptist. Semi-finals against Mercy. It was very challenging, but the boys capitalised on their opportunities. and emerged victorious with a 3-1 win of that match. So the captain is Tawada Jawa and Jake Bird is the goalie. Stars of the match, we've got Ethan Lee from Sorrento Football Club under-18s playing centre-back. He's a very composed player, and in fact they're away, so I'm going to hand over to the man that does all the very accurate calling of the game. Over to you, my son.
Thank you, Mike. Great description of the teams there, and there are a lot of key players in that side this afternoon. Sacred Heart in the red and South Coast Baptist in the dark blue. And Sacred Heart looking to repel out of their defensive half as we're well underway into this grand final. The boys' grand final, South Coast looking to do the double in 2024. It's a rare feat in ACC sport for one school to take both titles, but Sacred Heart, they'll look to stop them in their tracks here this afternoon. Leading the side for Sacred Heart, as you said, Mike, Tadiwa Jawa as the captain and Dylan Scott as the captain for the South Coast side. Good leadership qualities that he has got, as Sacred Heart will see this one back into their attacking half. Sacred Heart, good side that they have got. Watch out for the likes of Ethan Lee playing in the under-18s for Sorrento. And Drew McDonald, good winger and has a very good strike. When the opportunity is right in front of him, he's got a powerful foot that can strike for long distance. He is a very good striker of the ball.
Finn Levy is also from Kingsley, and the other one got the wings covered. Always my way with coaching soccer, hockey, which is similar to soccer in some ways, is if you open the play up, that's when you use your wingers. So 2 good wingers will go down well.
And South Coast able to open it up on the outer wing for a moment. Sacred Heart covering it well in defence. George Jones shares a name with a very famous country singer, George Jones.
I was going to say, I didn't know he played football.
Well, you could be right, who knows?
I also didn't know he was still at school.
But George Jones able to look to set up South Coast as they repel from the defensive half, but Sacred Heart keeping it into attack. The 2 number 9s going at it. Finn Levy in a match up there with Mpunga, but Mpunga wins that one, rescuing South Coast from a little bit of trouble there. Sacred Heart working hard going into their attacking zone, but it's going to be a throw. This time it's going to be Catalano.
I'll tell you what, different style of play and a lot more hectic with the boys than it was with the ladies. They
Mpunga there getting a clearing kick out. It's going to force a throw.
Ladies seem to be very skilled based. These guys have sort of enthusiasm and endeavour. And certainly no lack of either of those.
Another throw this time, so tempo just slowing up a little bit. We've almost played 3 minutes in this first half. If you're just joining us for the first time, if you missed the girls' grand final, it was South Coast 6-0. Dominant performance over St Norbert.
It was. I was hoping to slow up a bit. I was worried you were starting to go blue. I said, please breathe.
I rarely go blue in the face, mate, because calling a game is very exciting.
It certainly is, and this is a great example of exactly that.
Levy, nice dish to Catalana. They're being forced back here, Sacred Heart. They're doing a wonderful job, South Coast, in just pressing forward and putting a little bit of pressure on Sacred Heart. That's a good long ball in the McDonald direction, but just a little too much mustard on it. Too much mustard in the sandwich, as they say.
Yeah. Right, I was talking about golf and had the direction, but had the range, but not the direction. So I'll tell you what, you'd want to have a pretty strong bench, because these boys are going to be running themselves ragged after an hour at this pace.
Oh, absolutely. 30-minute halves, as we mentioned earlier, rather than the usual 45. Sacred Heart looked to play it along the line, but that one is going to be out of play and a throw.
Do they have the same rule we had at tennis? If you lose it, you buy it. You could really kicked it out on the
I'll have to ponder
Wellsville Road.
I'll have to ponder that. That was a rule I haven't played under in any sport since I was a kid, back in the turn of the century.
When you're playing in country week tennis, you lose a tennis ball, you've got to buy one. Here we go.
South Coast working wonders here.
The man on the wing is open.
Punga looking to play that one to the open wing, but that one just deflected and didn't meet its target. So it'll be a throw for Sacred Heart. Alex Catalano again will put this one back into play. That throws to a contest, if you don't mind. Hurriedly getting a boot to it is McKenty. South Coast again clearing from the defensive half. Playing with good desperation here, South Coast. Here's Garnham.
Oh, nice play. He's looking for someone.
Good control.
Nothing forward. He had to go back.
Good control. Whenever your options up forward are limited, you've always got some backup. on the defensive half.
Maintaining possession is really the story, and that's what he was able to do. So my basketball coaching tip was, well, we've got the ball, they can't score.
That's right.
And then they introduced it to the shot clock, and that ruined my whole strategy.
Well, I think the shot clock, it's not a bad rule. You know, you've always got to, you know, time it well, and it just increases the tempo and ferocity of the game.
Well, it certainly is it's necessary. Can you imagine just, and even the half-court rule.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just saying earlier that those changing the rules in hockey. Oh, lovely through balls come down to the legs. Who's got the legs?
Callahan.
He's got possession. Oh, the pass just didn't get through. He had the man on the wing on the far side was ready to go.
Bit unlucky for Callahan, but it was good defence by Sacred Heart and keeping that one alive in their defensive half. This time it's McKenzie. McKenzie under a bit of pressure there and just lost out. It's going to be thrown in.
Great move by South Coast. But as I said, when I say the pass wasn't quite there, it was mainly because the Sacred Heart boy had it covered. Oh, nice header.
Very good header there by Levy, but just didn't meet its target, and it's cleared out of there by Twig for South Coast. It'll be thrown in on the wing in front of our broadcast position. A great setup here at the Sam Kerr Football Centre, WA's newest premier football facility, and no doubt I have to say it is one of the best in the country as Sacred Heart heads towards goal, but that one's well saved by their keeper in Shafi.
The field is in beautiful condition.
It is. It's held up well with all the rain that we have had, in contrast to some of the waffle grounds that we had games over the weekend. There was a lot of puddles and there's a lot of mud, but this ground has held up quite well in the week that has gone.
Well, you're too young to know, but when I was playing football at school, we're talking first half of the last century.
Levi, how about that? That is brilliant play from Levi. Out to Ing.
Where the whistle is.
Just couldn't follow up on that pass, unfortunately, and that allows South Coast to repel from the defensive half. Good pass to the outer wing into their captain in Scott. Scott with a through ball intended for Gattani, but that one's out of play.
Yeah, what I was alluding to there was that every football ground had a cricket pitch in the middle.
That's right.
Used to take them out. There's this big patch of mud in the middle of their oval. You very seldom came home from a football game without being caked in mud. So we've had a little bit of that around Perth over the last week or two.
Certainly have, and what timing too. We're getting into the finals, of course, next week, September action. Can't get any better than that. But here, Sam Kerr Football Centre, Sacred Heart doing everything they can to keep it in their attacking half. They've pressed forward, and that's allowed South Coast to get a few gaps on the outer side. If you work it to the wings, you've got your opportunities. Here's Garnham.
I was talking about the Sacred Heart wings, but certainly the South Coast wingers are having... Oh, look at that beautiful
good through
ball.
There's a chance now for Mochovic. Mochovic under a bit of pressure now. This is Barbetti.
Ooh.
And that one's out of play.
What a pass. I'll put that on the par with many of the shots even on goal that we've had today. That was absolutely pitch perfect. You like that, introducing the music onto the football pitch?
Oh, I don't mind that.
I won't do many clever things, so I'm going to ask to be acknowledged if I ever do, so stand by. Oh, look at that header. Sure, don't let it go out.
Done well to keep it alive. Good footwork there to keep it in play.
The
pass was a bit of a shocker, I'm afraid.
Oh, I thought the pass was great. It was a receipt that didn't. It's a bit like the boomerang that doesn't come back. It's called a stick.
Yes.
Well, that was it would have been a pass if the guy had received it, but I thought it was nicely touched off.
Mutema was able to throw that one back in, and they centre it to Mpunga. Mpunga got good leg speed from defence as they look to go into the left flanks here. They'll work it wide. Here's Jones. Good centering ball. Garnham, he's got one open on the near side. One of them is Scott.
Watch offside.
Well, you've got to be careful. No, they're very calculated here, South Coast. They're just...
Well, they have to be because Sacred Heart's picking up all their players. Look, one-on-one all the way over the ground.
That's right. South Coast need to find a way through.
Good
through ball there.
Again.
Good long pass. Maybe a little too much for Mochovic, but he's able to keep it alive.
I'll tell you what.
Clearing out this time is Petrovsky.
That'll be corner, I'm guessing.
It'll be a throw, which just inside the area.
I'm going to get I'm never sure whether to watch this nice little monitor here, which is not quite as clear. And then, of course, if we can't see the corner from here because of the outside cameraman. So when I'm doing the athletics this year, I'm going to actually take the broadcast monitor away from the window. I'm not even going to watch the races. I'm just going to do my commentary from the monitor. Because, you know, to be for sake of stating the obvious, golly, late for work, I haven't got my mouth working yet.
Oh, big strike there heading into goal, but that one's deflected off the Sacred Heart defence. But now, looking to control this one is Twig. Centering pass. Oh, pass was ineffective, and clearing that one is Sacred Heart, but it's going to find its way to Shafi out in front of goal, and he'll let Twig have the opportunity to clear out towards the wing. Mpunga, good controller of the ball is Mpunga. He's well calculated. That's a nice pass back to Twig. Twig now again working it to the outer side. Here's Mutema. Almost lost his footing for a moment, but recovers well. It's now back to Twig. This is a good long strike from Twig heading towards the corner.
Needed a backspin. I'll tell you what. Oh, very nearly.
Very close indeed.
Is that the same guy doing the long passes every time? Because they are absolutely beautiful.
I reckon Twig's been relied upon to get that through ball from the centre into attack and find that main option in Macevic, and he's done quite well, but some of them have been a little bit off target, some have been very good, but they just haven't been able to get the reward, South Coast, for their opportunities.
Considering the margin of error available to him, at the moment I've penciled him in for player of the match. I think he's just really opening up the play. And those passes, I have no criticism of any of them.
But Sacred Heart's defence can be credited as well. Every time that Sacred Heart have gone for that long pass out towards the edge of goal, Sacred Heart have been able to get their players and defend this one or force it out of play and allow a turnover.
Yeah, as soon as it turns over, you watch they pick up their men. Yeah, it's really a one-on-one type game, which is not necessarily the way that, that these field sports are played these days. Straight away now, look at everyone that's in the South Coast colours has got a bright red man right alongside him.
Sacred Heart's defensive setup has been working really hard in order to repel South Coast's entry in towards the goal area. And they're doing very well here. They're pushing forward. They've got the likes of Ing and Levy relied upon as the key defenders for Sacred Heart, as again they work it to the outer side. Mutema goes down the line. That one's ineffective, and Sacred Heart, this is their big chance here, Sacred Heart. They can go deep here. Ing just got a foot to it, putting on the accelerator. Big slide, just too late on that occasion. Shafi does well to save it.
I think that's been cross-training playing his baseball, I think, that boy.
I would think so. Good centering pass. Jones.
He's with him.
Puts the foot on the accelerator, does Jones. With him was Howard.
Great pressure from Sacred Heart.
Very good pressure there, and it worked wonders this time, as that's forced South Coast back into the defensive half again. That's where they've controlled the ball most of the first half.
Oh, the Sacred Heart don't let them get control of it in the front half and the forward half. That's why.
That's right.
There's that pass again.
Oh, it's a beauty from Twig. Not on target this time.
A little bit extreme. Once again, lots of red down there.
And that's going to be a free kick. There was a challenge there. That is going to be against Sacred Heart's captain in Taidi Wajawa. And a free kick going to South Coast. And I reckon they'll need a big strike here. And that's where they go.
Up in the air.
Oh, just a bit too much on that one. It was heading in the direction of Twig. But the strike coming from Stuart Kerr, a little too much. Sacred Heart doing all they can to find their way into attack. That's a good ball over the shoulder from Howard. Now they have a chance. Levy puts the foot on the accelerator. That may be a penalty. No, it won't be. I'd have to say Levy is a little bit stiff on that one, and I don't blame him, because there was no contact on the ball whatsoever. I'd have to say Levy is a little bit unlucky. But Sacred Heart have a chance to counter, but that kick is out of target. It's going to be out of play. Oh, gee, that's very unlucky.
The interpretation, of course, as long as he's going for the ball. I don't know if he has to contact the ball. So I guess I'm going with the umpire. One thing I would never be tempted to do is to be an umpire or a referee. And so we've got to keep paying full credit to the people that put their hands up to do it. Yes, difficult call.
Always very tough in a grand final. Not only the responsibilities lifted, but the pressure's lifted as well. Straight away, Sacred Heart with a long kick into their attacking zone. It's immediately saved by Shafi.
Well, if the Sacred Heart could bring the same degree of competency to their attacking that they have to their defence, they'd have goals on the board already. They've been so good in defence. Oh, that's a good one. Still got control.
Pressure's on South Coast here. Sacred Heart, first time they've really got it deep into attack. The strike came from Howard, didn't get all of it, and numbers around for South Coast. They're able to clear. Good long ball. Sacred Heart doing well here. Barging his way through there was Jalaska. Jawa, the skipper, leading from the front. Through ball was intended for Levi, but that one's out of play. That'll be a goal kick, it looks like. No, it'll be a corner. It'll be a corner for Sacred Heart.
Had a nice little spectator group obliterating our view. Lucky we had the monitor that time.
Now the spectators turning out in force this afternoon.
Well, they'll be entertained.
It's been a good game so far. Plenty of ferocity and intensity so far in the first 17 or so minutes. Corner kick. It's going to be coming from McKenzie. That one a little bit shallow. Big header looking to clear the box. South Coast desperately looking to go on the counter-attack, and they do here. Good control here through Jatani. And at least they've kept it alive. At least they've kept it alive, South Coast.
Nice of them to include the spectators. Yeah. I think the spectators get a shot at the ball as well. It's just the great thing about ACC sport, you know, about the soccer, the basketball, whatever it is, athletic swimming, you will not find better entertainment because it's in the right spirit. You've got young people just trying their hearts out for their schools, and it's, you know, really, I go home just feeling all warm and fuzzy and trying to find ways to limit my carbon footprint. Oh, the through ball, no.
Oh, that through ball, I'm afraid, presented nothing but Sacred Heart players, as they'll be content to see that one over the line. It'll be thrown in by Petrovsky. Petrovsky, a bit of a shallow throw in this time, putting the pressure on is Macevic, and that will allow South Coast to retake possession. They've got it in their offensive half, and this is a big chance for them to try and head out towards goal. They've got some attacking options. Thrown in by Mutema. Vucevic, the prime target. Sacred Heart again clear, but camped underneath it is Mapunga. Nice control by Mapunga to get it off to Mutema. Mutema, what can he do next? A good through pass there to Macevic. Lovely cross. It's a bit of a deep one. And now McKenzie looks to keep it alive for Sacred Heart. Deflected off an opponent. Chance now. Good centering pass. South Coast with a chance. Big shot for goal. Deflected off Jalaska. South Coast aim to clear. And they can do so through Mutema. Look to keep it alive. And that lack of control there on the second touch, unfortunately, forces it out of play. South Coast down the left-hand side. They'll look to switch this one up, and they do for a moment. So South Coast just playing in a controlled manner, not rushing their disposal. And that's going to be a free kick. There was a direct challenge there. South Coast, what will be their next move? At the moment, this first half is played like a game of chess. You've got to be calculated with your moves, and you've got to always play with confidence. And so far, I would say the momentum's with South Coast at the moment. They've done more of the attacking. They've been able to control possession, but with little reward. Sacred Heart, they've done well defensively. Oh, Mutema came charging in. Unlucky to lose possession. Sacred Heart get it back. Petrovsky forces it out of play. It'll be a throw going to South Coast. We're well over the 20-minute mark this first half. Still 0-0.
On the odd occasion, Sacred Heart have looked dangerous, but the dominance, I think, is from South Coast until it crosses the halfway line, and then Sacred Heart's defence is awesome. There we go. Oh,
good through ball.
Oh, lovely through ball.
Cross comes in. Callahan under a little bit of pressure. Jalaska does well to clear.
Yeah, the Sacred Heart is like a brick wall. It really is. Those beautiful through passes, and once it gets down there, the defence. They haven't really had a promising shot at goal, have they, South Coast yet?
Well, South Coast have only had 1 or 2 chances. Sacred Heart had a couple of chances. Levi also had a chance as he went forward. Through ball, 2-on-1.
Goalie's read it well.
Jake Bird, the Sacred Heart goalie there, able to make the easy save.
Oh, Sacred Heart going to make...
They go from end to end. Now the 2 nines go at it. Big header there as they head their way forward, Sacred Heart, but that's only going to go only as far as Shafi.
I was a bit worried that goalie might do the ball through the hands, but he was using his head in both senses of the word.
Through ball again out to the outer side.
Come on.
But it's not going to be effective this time. Getting a foot to it was Lee, and now Petrovsky.
Still
and under pressure there from Mocevic, but that I reckon is going to be a corner.
Yes, they presumed it was going out. South Coast man read it beautifully. I have to check the rules. In volleyball, the rule of the ball being out is if, when viewed from above, the circumference of the ball is completely clear of the line. I think it might be the same in soccer, so that could have been the interpretation there. Everyone stopped waiting for it to go out, except the young man from South Coast.
Utema.
Unfortunately, the boy from Sacred Heart was on task. As soon as he saw it was going to be played through, he...
Sliding in there was Jawa for the challenge. And this time it'll be a corner.
Oh, goodness, quick play on corner.
Very quick play on there from Utema. And getting a foot to it was Mapunga. He goes down. And that's going to be a goal kick for Sacred Heart.
I just got a glimpse of the past the 2 cameramen here. I thought he'd scored. It's just a practice goal set over on the fence.
Well, that's not a shot on target if you're going for the practice goal there.
Yeah. I don't think he was as confused as was I.
Breeze blowing across the ground here at the Sam Kerr Football Centre as Sacred Heart do what they can to repel. They look to go on the counter-attack here. The ball is into the path of Garnham. Good first touch, controls it well. So does Mpunga, who was under a little bit of pressure. Struggling to keep it alive there was the captain for South Coast in Dylan Scott. And it'll be thrown back in a flash. Mpunga
nice.
doing well. He's working
done.
hard, Mpunga, in this first half.
He's got plenty of calls.
Twig, long high ball.
Good use of the head there. Oh, hang on. Might have used the knees as well.
And he did, and he copped it there.
That's no good. I'd like to see the... surely there's a... work out whether it's his shoulder or his head. Hopefully he hasn't been hit in the head. And preferably hadn't been hit at all.
And now South Coast again on the attack. Good ball now for Matema. His kick ricochet off a Sacred Heart player, but they're able to retain possession here, South Coast.
Good use of the feet.
Very good use of the feet by Twig. Very versatile.
Well,
long ball, Matema. Here's a chance now into attack now. Gattani unable to control that one inside the box. Now down the left-hand side, South Coast are able to switch it up to the centre.
Nicely cleared that defender from Sacred Heart. Kept it in play and took the pressure off.
Still maintaining possession is South Coast. We're into the 24th minute of this first half. Still 0-0 in this boys' grand final. Garnham, good through ball there, heading for Mpunga, but couldn't get a controlling touch, Mpunga. But they still keep possession, South Coast. They're able to keep those 2 players, Twig and Scott, well at bay of the attacking zone. And Sacred Heart are clearing that ball from their defensive zone. Playing very calculated here. They've had more of the possession in this first half. Big header coming in. But South Coast have a chance. And again cleared from the edge of the box. Good use of the body there. Chance for Garnham. Pass to Matema. Matema, good through ball coming up here. Cross, heads in towards the box. It looks promising now for South Coast, but that one just out of control there for Sacred Heart, for South Coast rather. Sacred Heart, now they've got a way through.
This is the way to go. Oh, he's very quick, the boy from Sacred Heart.
Yep, Levy.
We need someone in the middle, boys. Come on.
Levy needs to find a target so he can go for the cross, but Twig is keeping him at bay. Very well done from Twig. Tries to go through the legs of Twig, but doesn't come off. Going down is Jones, and that's a free kick. That was a great effort there by Twig in defence, keeping Finn Levy at bay.
And as I said, when Twig was doing his big long passes earlier in the game, he's a very capable player. He knows his stuff. Good skills.
Huge opportunity for Sacred Heart going begging as South Coast defence.
Very thin on the ground, Sacred Heart. And as much as South Coast weren't back defending, Sacred Heart weren't there attacking either.
That's right.
They were reduced to a couple of possibilities, and Twig was able to neutralise it.
Twig, quick dish to Garnham. Jones, Mutema. Oh, ricochet there off Petrovski, and he forces that one out. 4 minutes till the end of regular time in the first half, 0-0.
Oh, please don't go to penalties.
That'd be the worst way to lose a grand final, as he said. Team losing to penalties, with South Coast being the runners-up last year to Servite on penalties.
Yes, they won't want the feeling of deja vu at the 0-0 full time.
Macevic taken down there, and he's going to get the free kick. The central referee very prompt.
I mentioned the 1994 grand final between Santa Maria and Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart by far the better team, and ended up at 1-1 half-time, 2-2 full-time, and through some freak of circumstance, Santa Maria blocked more goals than Sacred Heart, and Sacred Heart were justifiably nonplussed. So, not a fan of that technique at all. I enjoyed this that much. I'd be happy enough to come back and do it again next week.
If we had a replay, if we still had a replay back in the old days where the finals would be replayed if drawn.
Yep.
And Collingwood and West Coast in the AFL would ring a bell. Back in 1990 as Levi through the centre. Good through ball there. Maybe a little too much for McDonald, but McDonald's able to keep it alive.
Beautifully.
Good skill by McDonald. Oh, what about that from Mutema? He says, anything you can do, I can do better.
Well, he's just so light on his feet, Matemba. He just, most people like that with their feet planted firmly wouldn't have had, he just was around and straight back on it, like a cat.
Another chance for Sacred Heart. The pass ineffective, but they got some numbers. Jawa, outclassed on that occasion. And now Sacred Heart can get back into attack. Working it to the left-hand side, Jatani. Good through ball here, allows an opportunity here for his teammate in Jones. Doing well, South Coast. Promising. Jatani, great save.
Well done, goalie.
Great save by Bird. Jake Bird, the Sacred Heart goalie, working very hard.
South Coast were very nicely set up, very much like the girls' game. The winger had it, man right on the mouth of the goal, and the defenders. There's no doubt, I think if we had to put together a side, you'd pick the defenders from Sacred Heart, combine them with the attackers from South Coast, and you'd have a pretty unbeatable schoolboy team.
Certainly would. Corner coming up now. Mpunga. Big chance for South Coast to break the deadlock.
Got the right foot, come and curl it in.
Decides to give it a short pass to Scott.
Last time they took the instant tap off the corner, didn't they?
They did, and it didn't come off the right way. Mpunga. Centering ball. It's a huge pack of players contesting for it. Big shot at goal. And that's wide of the right post. Oh, Sacred Heart lucky to survive that next onslaught. Still 0-0. We're into the last minute of regulation.
Haven't had too much stoppage time, so there won't be much extra being added.
No, there hasn't been a lot. It's been free-flowing, end-to-end, back and forth.
And flat out.
Flat out. If in doubt, flat out, as you would expect in a grand final between two very competitive teams. Mutema running along the sideline. He gets wiped out. And that'll be a free kick to South Coast on the far wing.
Can we get that beautiful through pass? And can we get someone down there? Already, look at Sacred Heart defence.
They're all ready.
A complete line right across the oval. Any blue player's got someone standing alongside them.
into the last seconds of the first half. One more chance for Sacred Heart, for South Coast maybe. Mpunga, can he get one at the last second? Has to retreat, far pass. Big shot for goal,
Oh,
Bird. Great save from Bird. That'll just about do it maybe for the first half.
Oh, dear.
Clearing ball from Bird, that'll do it for the first half after the first 30 minutes. 0-0 between South Coast and Sacred Heart, but both teams with plenty of chances that have gone uncapitalised. That man right there, Tino Mutemba, he has been one to watch. He's worked hard in defence and he's followed up with good work in attack. But those opportunities have not been capitalised on by either side.
Well, it's the amazing thing is that it only seemed to me that going back in the olden days when I was playing sport, people didn't emphasise the importance of running.
That's right.
And I used to say to the kids when I was coaching and teaching, I'd say, you know, apart from swimming and rowing, there's pretty much every sport, the ability to run, you know, to get speed. In fact, I cast my mind to the Olympics and the wonderful Jessica Hull. If I say beautiful, you think I'm commenting on what she looks. I was talking about the way she runs. And she made the comment, and I found this with all the middle distance men and women. She just said, I did lots of sprint training. I thought, when you're at that level, the 1500 and the 800 are a sprint, and being able to muster it up with a dash of speed in the closing stages really is the secret. And what we're seeing out here today, that's some very fit and speedy. You know, I think I was talking to her, I think it was a football show the other night. We had one of the players, an old player, and he said, I can run as fast as I used to for about 5 metres. It's that first 5 metres, of course, which creates the opening.
It does. And as you see, we're in the inner sanctum, the teams getting the halftime address from their respective coaches. No doubt a big 30 minutes ahead for these two teams. It's 0-0 if you're just joining us for the first time. Both teams with some big opportunities, but no team able to capitalise. The big question heading into this second half, who's going to break the deadlock?
Well, both the goalies playing a great role. That last shot on goal, he read it like they'd sent him a telegram. He just stepped up right in the line of the shot. Anticipating the play beautifully, so full credit to the goalies, but I stand by my comment. The defenders of Sacred Heart are the ones that are dominating the game. And regardless of what South Coast bat will bring into play, Sacred Heart can close it down.
Where can you see the game heading? Who's looking more likely to break the deadlock? For me, it's South Coast.
Well, I just think with this, what they're waiting for is for Sacred Heart to make a mistake in defence.
Now, that's a good point that you make. They've rarely made any blemish in defence, Sacred Heart. Whenever South Coast have headed towards the goal zone, Sacred Heart have been able to get enough numbers in defence and counter.
Well, the oldest and most basic of all coaching rules is to, if they've got the ball, crowd them, and if you've got the ball, get open. And every time that South Coast get the ball, they're knee-deep in red shirts.
That's right.
And it's just got to be one occasion when they don't follow that rule. They, maybe one of them runs out of puff running down the oval. Hopefully, they've got a good roll call on both sides.
Good depth.
So, just reading the notes we were given, they can sub on and sub off.
That's right.
Some of the, I'm trying to keep up with all the sports. As I say, the ones I've been involved in are a little more up to date, with the exception of hockey, because I can't keep up with them. They keep changing the rules.
And the pace as well. The pace of hockey is unrelenting.
Oh, well, the hockey that we played, the idea of a perfectly flat piece of carpet, we played on grass and the ball would bounce everywhere. And invariably you found the good hockey players were good cricketers because they could pick the ball and bounce up and they'd trap it. Whereas this just lay your stick on the ground and stop it. It's almost like comparing tennis and squash. To me it's an entirely different game. But when I first started playing hockey, if the ball went out of bounds, you actually rolled it in by hand. And they had a tram line down the side of the oval. So come a long way. But soccer hasn't changed too much. There was a rule in soccer when I was teaching it in the early days. The goalkeeper can only take a certain number of steps. One of the big calls was steps, and obviously that doesn't apply anymore.
That's right.
But back to the name of the game, I think it's going to come down to the legs.
I reckon so. Who's got the greater endurance? Who's the more experienced, the fitter side out of these two teams? I have to say it's pretty much even in that department when you're looking at it. Both teams, great endurance, great will. The mindset's mindset's got to be intact in this second half. You've got to want it more.
Well, the speed is there on both sides. The endurance will only start to show when we get into the sort of the 50th and 55th minute. I, in fact, made a state schoolboys hockey side. I couldn't play hockey, but I could run. And they just put me on the wing and I ran. The interesting part was that they pulled me out at the last minute, put in a kid called Rick Charlesworth, who's evidently pretty good.
So if it's locked in, if it remains tied, whether it be 0-0 or, of course, maybe 1-1 or 2-2, if it's locked in at the end of regulation, straight to penalties.
And even 3-3.
Yes, that's right. So the possibilities are endless there. At the moment, still locked in at 0-0.
Well, we weren't predicting 6-0 on the previous ones.
No, South Coast, look, they were dominant. Of course, that was the girls' grand final earlier. If you just joined us for that, South Coast dominated in the girls' grand final.
What was your favourite goal?
Oh, I'd have to say the long strike from mid-range. That was right out of the Sam Kerr textbook.
Mine was the 9-iron shot over the head of the goalie.
Oh, 9-iron into the green.
Oh, just up. She was probably 2 metres out. She could have blasted for one of the corners. She chipped it up high enough that the very capable goalie couldn't touch it. And I thought that was just pretty to watch, is my phrase. So, yeah, the boys, certainly a faster game. Lots more, as I say, dash and enthusiasm. Will they get tired? Will their legs get weary? And that's my comment.
Well, that remains to be seen as we head into the second half.
I just think South Coast has got some set plays just waiting to happen. And at the moment, Sacred Heart are reading them in advance. Like that last one with the goalie was right on the spot, knew where the ball was going.
Second half underway, 0-0 in this ACC Boys Grand Final, and Sacred Heart right away bomb this one long into their attacking zone. But those are the three that have been the real keys for South Coast in their defensive setup. Twig, Mutema and Mupunga. Those have been the three key pillars down that defensive back line. Sacred Heart again getting some numbers as they reinforce their setup here. And losing his footing there was Jawa.
We just said how we're lucky the ground wasn't all slippery.
No, and lucky that didn't create a divot as well, because the ground has held up quite well in the week gone by with all the rain and the storms we have had in the days that have gone by before today's action.
Oh, nice capture there.
Very good control there, and now Sacred Heart, here's a chance. They can switch it up here.
Playing it safe.
Playing it calculated and safe.
What's his long pass like? It was just a long pass. So it's a long kick. It's a pass if somebody receives it. Right, all good through ball, but trapped.
Want to set this one up here, South Coast now.
Wing.
They're starting to feel the pressure. Yes, they do open it up to the wing, but just too much.
A little too much weight on it.
Yeah, that target intended there was Adrian Mochovic, but just out of his reach.
I tell you what, that was a set play that they had in their book.
They did.
Did play gridiron for a short period of time. All the players were given numbers. They'd always announce what was happening, and I'd go to the quarterback and say, what the hell do I do? All the codes. And I think that was a set play. They had the man out there waiting. The ball was, and it's away again.
Centering ball, Mochovic at the edge of the box.
Well done.
Well done by the Sacred Heart defence. They are working exceptionally hard to counter every attack that South Coast have been able to muster.
But he was on his shoulder right from the moment the ball was passed to him. As soon as the ball came his way, it was like flypaper, right on his shoulder. Well done, Sacred Heart.
Got to produce more of those efforts, but the question is, South Coast, whenever they've got the ball in their control, what are they going to do to break through that defensive wall? It is basically a wall.
Yes.
Have they got a chance here to break through? Cross comes in. Chance now. Mochovic just missing that one. Just going through, just going by his chest there as Sacred Heart send that one out of play through Howard. That was a good setup there from South Coast, but the execution just failed.
Beautiful cross. 2 players win with opportunity. So nothing wrong with the pass was just out of reach. So I think credit to the pass. It was on. That's what I mean about their attacking moves. As soon as Sacred Heart make a mistake.
It's just the finish that's just lacking a little bit. Using the body well there was Jawa to clear for Sacred Heart. And that'll be out of play, thrown in.
He's a big, strong boy, Jawa. I'll say compared to the, some of the more slightly built. I think if they come hip and shoulder, he may come out on top. A big, strong fella.
He's a real strong player, is Jawa. He is built like a beast. He is Tariwa Jawa.
He's also got the skills, so.
He has. He's able to back that up with great skill. Oh, good leg speed, very good agility. Here comes South Coast once again. Long shot heading towards goal from Callahan.
I'll tell you what, almost a Sam Kerr, because
it
wasn't without a chance. Maybe it was just outside the post, of course, but I think had it been inside the post, the goalie would have got it. So well read again by the goalie. But that possibly the most promising of the shots on goal today.
It was more on target compared to most of the others, but still an opportunity going begging. South Coast desperate. They are absolutely desperate to break the deadlock. Good use of the body by Mutema.
Do not want the penalty thing they had last year.
No, they wouldn't want to suffer that. It'll be a case of deja vu for Sacred Heart.
That would be,
for South Coast, rather.
That would be unjust, totally unjust, if they go down on penalties 2 years in a row.
There's no justice in sport sometimes. If that happens, as the great Dennis Cometti said, there's no justice.
Yes, we've had a real goldmine of local commentators, and you're sort of stepping up there now. So,
well, I'm nowhere near the calibre of Dennis Cometti, please.
I think that, and I don't classify myself as a sports caller at all. Just an interested old school teacher who just loves the ACC. That's my main involvement. And these kids, as I say, just the attitude of the way they play hard, they play fair. You won't see any, quote unquote sportsmanship type, reaches.
Good control there by Macevic, but doesn't have any options on the more central route. Good control.
Too much red.
Too much red in that play. Sacred Heart countering. Look at that. Good control by the captain in Scott. Sacred Heart desperately hanging on for dear life in their defence. Dare I say it, they're flirting with danger, because every chance South Coast have got, they're getting closer.
South Coast have been dangerous with the hacky sack.
They've been hammering the attacking zone, but Sacred Heart have countered brilliantly.
Wings out here. There he is.
They're opening it up here. They're signalling their intent. Mercevic is open.
Going through them.
Threading the needle there was South Coast, but to no avail.
I was about to say, you'll never get that through, and it went straight past 4 of them. So my knowledge of football is being on display with my ignorance.
No, you're doing well.
I thought, we had the wing around here. Why the heck did you kick it down the middle? Never get through. Got through them all.
What will they do, South Coast? What's their intention from out of defence? They're going to open it up to the near wing. Jones. Jones, good control, but even better the pressure from McDonald. And he'll win back possession. In fact, it's going to be South Coast ball, and a little bit of how do you do from the two players. It's going to be thrown in by Sacred Heart, as it turns out.
That's where we had the how did he do.
That's right.
How he did was opposite what he thought he did.
Do as I say, not as I did, as they say. As that's going to be a free kick.
Okay.
Going to South Coast.
Did he lift the back foot or something?
Yes, he did lift the back foot.
Oh, technical.
Thrown in by Mutema. Here's Mpunga. He's been a big key in defence for South Coast. As
keep talking about the defence of Sacred Heart, but of course he's got those. The South Coast Baptist defence is equally good, but it's
in towards goal. It's going. It's going. Diving in is Petrovsky. Great sliding challenge, saving what would have been a certain goal for South Coast. And that's a corner now coming up.
Goodness me, that was. I told you. This is just sport at its best. It's exciting, it's talented, and it's just wonderful to watch.
No matter what level it is, if it's intense, if it's exciting, by jingoes, it is worth its money. It's worth its weight in goal.
But just reading that ball, the boy from Sacred Heart, beautiful anticipation, and then throwing the body on the line. That is, possibly certainly one of the highlights of the day.
So now, Mutema is going to throw this one in. Mutema, where does he go? He's going to go to Macevic. Good ball. Chance now for South Coast. Missing that one. Sacred Heart
he
can
let it
clear.
go.
Good clearance there out of defence. Jawa doing all he can to keep it alive. Lovely back heel flick there by Mutema. He's got some very crafty skills. As Tino Mutema, watch out for him in the future. He is going to be a star, dare I say it. Playing it along the near wing now. South Coast. Looking to cross that one is Jones.
But for the header, it was a good pass.
Was steadying now Sacred Heart. Can they go on the counter-attack? They've got a couple of players forward. And again, South Coast doing all they can. Chance now. Big strike. Oh, what a save from Bird. Big save as Howard clears. But that will be a corner.
Tell you what, talking about the Sacred Heart defence, when Nip comes to tuck, those last two saves have asserted their predominance in the defence department. Yeah, you've got a feel for the goalie when someone's sort of lining you up with a shot. Just kept the balance evenly spread on the 2 feet and straight into it.
Spare a thought for George Jones, who has to climb over the fence and get the ball.
Right.
So a corner for George Jones and for South Coast.
I don't know, he's on the right side. He might be able to get that beautiful bend of the ball, put it onto the head of somebody. I was thinking that flagpole, you'd like to be able to take that out when you're taking the corner, I reckon.
Do a bit of the Tim Cahill boxing celebration.
Yes.
Jones, had to hesitate there for a moment. Now he's going for it. He goes deep.
Yeah.
Not his best corner there.
So it got that nice curve on it, but he needed more height.
On the burst now is McDonald.
That's the only way that they're going to score.
He's putting the foot on the accelerator is McDonald. He needs some options. Central, McDonald long.
Oh, dear.
Oh, very, very close indeed. But what about, that's a solo effort and then some from McDonald. That one almost gave Sacred Heart the lead.
Well, it's the only way that anyone's going to score a goal is with a rebound like that, because it just, the defence gets set up. It's just too hard to get through. But I didn't. How high over the top bar was that?
There's sheet rain. Look at this rain here. It's getting heavy, and the breeze picking it up. Sheet rain we're seeing here at the Sam Kerr Football Centre. It's unbelievable.
That's God telling me to sell my motorbike, I think.
Play will go on.
Right, yes.
South Coast now a little bit more calculated.
Winter sport, so we could get the problem with the slippery ball and slippery ground as it's we get on here.
I'm not going to put the curse on anybody. We shouldn't get any lightning, of course. The lightning policy.
That's when we get the replay. We both pull another gig.
Oh, from the corner. Chance for Levi heading into goal. But good save from Bird. He went up there and got a hand to it. Well done by Jake Bird.
Well, I think Bird might be the goalie of the day.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it is a bird. It's Jake Bird.
It is, certainly, and able to fly.
Corner will be taken by Mackenzie. This is Sacred Heart's biggest chance. Good corner, getting Bendage on it.
Got that curve on the ball again. He must be a left footer.
Jalaska getting ahead of it. McDonald comes
nice
in.
Pass, come on.
Settles it down. Here's Mackenzie. Crosses that one into the box. Header by Twig. Chance for Sacred Heart. Jawa! Oh, almost crossbar, there. Off the crossbar. Jawa again.
No.
Oh, my goodness gracious me.
Oh.
Oh.
As I said, you seem to have one moment where the lapse came through. Oh, look at that.
Jawa can't believe it.
Oh,
Two chances of goal, both of them have come unstuck.
Oh, the crossbar. I just, it's a shame you don't have that Aussie rules thing where hit the post, okay, you get 1 point.
Oh, what an effort from Taidiwa Jawa. That would have been a fine captain's goal to break the deadlock.
Oof.
Clearing ball, well controlled. Here is Jawa.
As I say, he's
Chance for South Coast, but well blocked in the end there by Sacred Heart.
Oh,
they
nice
play it
ball.
on to the advantage.
Yes.
Good ball to the outer side.
Right, we're away. All the speed stuff. All the
McDonald,
out there.
the keeper's out of his box. McDonald, McDonald's missed as well. Oh my goodness. 3 chances and all of them have gone begging.
And all of them, oh, dear me, all of them very good, very capable. It's not a case of totally blowing it. They were all capable shots.
But just the execution on the last step. It's like completing a puzzle and the last piece is yet to be there.
Well, certainly getting past the goalie was, that's the first time we've seen that in the whole match.
Yeah, the goalkeeper attempted to get out of the box.
Well,
and that's often a decision that can prove costly.
That's all damned if you do, damned if you don't.
That's right.
If he should have stayed back, they would have had time to do something a little more clever. But in the long run,
Levi, good sliding challenge there, setting up Howard, long strike, and another one over the crossbar.
But once again, a good shot. When that's that little bit over, all it means is you've got to get the head a bit more forward on your shot. If you lean back, of course, it lifts it. So just getting the body position. And the goalie's not that tall that if it, that crossbar one, for example, would have got through. It's just that little bit lower. So he's not a big boy, the goalie for South Coast. But well, the attacking has been pretty much all
Sacred Heart.
Mostly Sacred Heart.
Mostly Sacred Heart, but South Coast a rare chance, but that one was out of play. No one was able to get a second touch to it.
We had that couple of really strong shots from South Coast early in this half, but since then, Sacred Heart have been on the go. Are they the ones with the run in the legs? Are the South Coast getting tired? What's going on?
Yeah, that's always a big talking point for the sides in the second half of a game. Who's going to be the more fitter of the sides? Who has the greater endurance? Who has the greater willpower? Sacred Heart, it turns out they might have a little extra in the tank. But who knows? We've still got another 15 minutes to go of regulation time. If it's still all tied up, we go straight to penalties. Good through ball. Through ball heading towards an attack. Catalano. But well done there by Mapunga. In defence, controlling it well.
No, he did. Man right on him, just took the ball away and sent it back up their field.
Good setup by South Coast.
This is your chance, come on. You've had to turn around and rebound. This is the only way you're going to score.
Big chance for South Coast now. McCullen. McCullen gets through. Couldn't get all of it with the kick. He was under enormous pressure. And Bird was able to slow things down for Sacred Heart.
So the advantage Bird has, he is actually a lot taller than the other keeper.
Long ball coming in from Kingdon.
We did have one a bit like that in the last game, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, but this one there from Kingdon just had a little too much on it. As Jawa there is just down on his haunches. He's looking a little bit worse for wear.
Well, you say he's a big, strong boy, but if it's all right to be big and strong and powerful, but you find that you can get a little tired a little bit earlier. So he's got a limp on as well. So maybe they'd be sad to have to take him off because he's, as you say, he's playing a captain's game.
He's shown tremendous courage, so Jawa will have to come off. What a blow this will be for Sacred Heart.
When I get home tonight, I'll turn my vocal off this so I don't drive myself crazy, and I'll replay the whole thing and see what happened there. But that's a tragic loss for Sacred Heart, but they've got plenty of depth.
They do. But Jawa, no doubt his leadership on the field is going to be missed as he has to go off the ground.
I think there was a lot of that about Sam Kerr as well. It's a little bit like Lauren Jackson in the basketball. They were saying as they took her to the Olympics, she hardly played. They said, but her contribution to the team was invaluable. So
Zen Ing is now coming back on in the meantime. 14 minutes left. If we still are locked up at 0-0, we're going straight to penalties. It'll be a throw for South Coast. Mpunga decides to centre that ball. Risky. Here comes McDonald. McDonald bobs that up, but an easy save there for Chafee. Chafee throws this one long. Garnham controls it well. Garnham under a bit of pressure from Ing now. Nice flick to the centre in Jones. Jones looked to slice his way through the traffic, but did get challenged. Free kick. 13 minutes of time remaining. South Coast set up now to the near side. Well done by Mutema. Does he centre it? Takes the risk. Oh, did it go over the line? It did. Oh, the flick in. Jatani flicks it in for the goal. That breaks the deadlock for South Coast. Brilliant goal. Jatani breaks the deadlock for South Coast. Just like that, it's 1-0. So, Mutema, from the near side of offence, he was able to centre that ball. It was flicked in towards goal, just got saved by Bird, and as the ball came loose, Jatani able to swoop in and get boot to ball for the goal.
Okay, so the secret to scoring a goal is to get me to be quiet.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. Goals can happen at any moment. So South Coast have broken the deadlock, 1-0.
I'm definitely going to be watching the replay of this tonight because I duck out to do some housekeeping with Trent, the ACC manager here today, the events manager. And immediately my back is turned. It's like being a father of 4 children again. It all happens when your back's turned. Oh, don't tell me they're going to do what the girls did and get there once they've got their eye and just go mad.
Oh, well, who knows what could happen. We've still got 11 minutes. Can Sacred Heart come back, or can South Coast extend their advantage? Still on for young and old here. A bit of back and forth. There's a free kick.
Yep. Oh,
free kick there. There was a challenge.
Shin on shin, was it?
Shin on shin.
Oh, hurties. Yeah, I think my credibility as a soccer caller really down.
The referee's got the pen and pencil out, the pen and paper.
Oh, goodness me.
So
they're not exchanging phone numbers, I presume.
No, I think one's gone into the book.
Might be friending him on Facebook.
Oh, will you be serious? One's gone into the book. Oh, by golly. So the referee, very prompt, the central referee, has booked one. One has been booked.
That's the nature of the game, and as I said, the fact that people are prepared to put themselves out to be referees, full credit to them.
Absolutely.
So he knows what he's doing, and we're only guessing. He was out there.
If South Coast get the next goal, then you could put this game to bed. Oh, big strike there from Mpunga, and well saved there by Bird.
Yeah, I definitely want to see how you got one past Bird, because I had him down as unpassable.
Well, what's that old commentator's curse? I'm afraid you put the curse on Bird there.
Yeah, I've put the curse on many a thing in my lifetime.
Well, that makes 2 of us, so don't worry, you're not alone.
Dear me.
Thrown in. That's a long throw this time. It's well blocked by Sacred Heart. Good control by Catalano, but he's under immediate pressure from the likes of Scott and company. They break through, but it goes only as far as a couple of South Coast players. Good pass, good through ball there from his teammate to Mutema.
I think Sacred Heart have sort of put all the emphasis now. It's a very ever-present in the forward line. I think they've sort of said, well, we're going to have to try and leave the defence, to good luck. We're just going to have to make an attacking game out of it.
Jar was coming back on, and he gets mowed down again. Good setup here for South Coast. Callahan crosses this one. Chance for Jatani sliding in.
Oh, picked a bad bounce.
Yes, he got unlucky with that one. That would have been a superb double for Jatani.
If the slide had been a metre closer to us, it would have been before it bounced up, and it would have been really something to worry about. In fact, I misspoke there, because we have had the 5. There was plenty of defence from Sacred Heart there, but they really, defence is not going to win it for them. They've got to score.
They want to lock this one up. They want to take it to penalties. Do Sacred Heart, but time will be against them if they don't get some opportunities.
Clever
in
boy.
mid-air. What about it from McKenzie?
Acc Soccer champion. Right.
In mid-air, Jones narrowly misses it. McDonald comes in.
What's going on over there?
Good header there from Jones. Here comes Jawar swooping in. And that's going to be Sacred Heart's free kick.
The 2 little blokes might have been a bit of tugging on the jersey back there. All right. If that was Kerr, probably take a shot from here.
Oh, maybe. Oliver Howard. Oliver Howard has the ball just alongside the circle. It's a long strike, but well covered there by South Coast. Mpunga in midair, lovely header. Comes to
Oh,
Callahan,
beautiful.
look at that. 2 players open. Chance now for South Coast. Here's McMullen, goes long. Oh, brilliant
you're
strike.
kidding.
McMullen finishes it off.
Too good, too good.
All class McMullen and seals the deal for South Coast. The double is theirs.
I repeat, if you can get it past Bird. Then
Look at the celebration. He takes the knee in celebration, does McMullen. What about it?
He didn't do the punching one?
No, we did not, unfortunately,
Oh,
but just
goodness.
took the knee. Took the knee in salute.
I thought that on the Kerr Stadium you'd need to do a round off and a backflip.
Oh, mate, one thing's for certain, I can't do a backflip. I can't do a backflip to save my life.
Well, the interesting thing about Sam Kerr's one, it's one of the easiest ways to get a big black flip is to do the round off before, because you get the spring and the rotation.
Well, she's more athletic than both of us. And that's a good thing. That's why she's the best in the business.
The 2 of us and a dozen others, all combined.
But in all seriousness, that was a great setup and the finish by South Coast. They were able to get the through ball to the outer side and finishing it off with great ease is McMullen 2-0.
Yeah.
And South Coast, they will do the double in 2024.
Well, 6 minutes. Come on, Sacred Heart.
Offside.
Oh, okay.
Offside there. Catalano was offside there. Well spotted by the sideline referees.
No, but even when you're down there and it's just you and the goalie, from that angle, there wasn't a lot of goal showing, so that was a very, very accurate kick that wouldn't get it past Bird unless it was just outside his reach, and that was not easy to do from that angle, so that might go up there with one of the shots of the day.
Good first and second touch there by Petrovsky. Now Sacred Heart will again just set up from the near wing. Good through ball. Chance now for Levy. Does keep it in. Well done, Levy, but he's under pressure from Mutema. Nice one-on-one matchup we're seeing here. Mutema gets himself into position to clear. He's going to win that one. Mutema definitely being one of the keys as getting tangled up there is George Jones.
As I said, Mutema's the poise of a karate fighter, just beautiful jiu-jitsu fighter, beautiful balance and light on the feet.
That's right.
He's I think probably the cat's a better description, so we'll go with that.
Bit of a delay in the game as the players will have to retie their shoelaces. They got tangled up. And McMullen is going to sub off. Kick the sealer for South Coast. He's been a real key this afternoon. And coming on.
Well, I didn't have a preference for a victory here, but the one thing I did not want was to have a penalty shootout.
Well, from South Coast point of view, they wouldn't want to have a repeat of last year.
As you said, this. Sport is a microcosm of life. You have good luck, bad luck, fairness, unfairness, but I think 2 years on the trot, that was just a little bit too much.
Of course, having won in 2019 and 2020 back-to-back, it'll be their 3rd title in some 6 years for South Coast. It's an achievement that's going to be celebrated by these fellas long into the night.
Well, full credit to the coach as well. They've got taking 2 teams out.
Oh, can they finish it off here? Shetz couldn't do so.
As I said, just because it's only you and the goalie doesn't mean it's easy to do.
That's right.
Especially, Bird is a very good goalie. I think of the 2, he's certainly the better.
That'll be South Coast ball on the outer wing. Scott to throw.
Right, we're talking added time. I think you've not going to be once again. We had 1 second of it in the first half, so there won't be much in this one either.
Oh, can
here he
Sacred
goes.
Heart get one back? Sliding in! Levi!
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, that was a close call there. And Chafee there just gives Finn Levy a little bit of, I didn't appreciate that, thank you very much. It's the first time we've seen that today.
Yes, I think better left out of the game. So let's have, once again.
It'll be a goal kick. So Chafee gets plenty of distance with it. Sacred Heart forcing the turnover. McKentry, good through ball, but well countered by the header of the South Coast captain in Scott.
Yeah,
Good setup. Shetz does well.
Oh,
Sliding in is Jawa to counter.
That's our man. Okay, who are you going to give the trophy to for best on the ground? Would it be Jawa?
Best on ground. Oh, it's going to be tough. It's going to be very, very tough. But I've got to have to give it to Matema. It's either Matema or Mapunga. I reckon they have been impressive.
Well, considering I've been praising the defence from the opposite team there, they've been holding that end of the field up on their own, along with what's his name, Strider, isn't it, the other one? So the three of them, this three-man defence has been pretty much as effective as the five-man defence that Sacred Heart keeps setting up.
Throwing in will be McKenzie, rather. McKenzie, long throw to the edge of the box. Follows up well, does McKenzie. Kept his feet. Chance now for Catalano. That's going to be a free kick.
I've been very impressed with Bird as well, but I don't think you're likely to give it to a goalie that's let 2 goals in. But having say let them in, I don't know. That's a very accurate description of what happened. He's played an excellent role. Just unfortunately, the talent of the people from South Coast in the shooting department a little bit more than he can handle. I still haven't been able to. I can't analyse the first goal because I was out of the room.
Jalaska, long strike over the crossbar.
What would we have had on our hands had that crossbar hit not gone in? How would that have changed the enthusiasm of the Sacred Heart players, or dampened the play of South Coast?
Well, I think it would. Well, it would have been too late because time is going to run out. South Coast are going to achieve the double. South Coast achieved success in 2019-20. They suffered the worst kind of heartbreak in last year's grand final. But in 2024,
well, that's full time.
They are going to climb their way back to the top of the mountain, and even better and even sweeter for South Coast, they are going to do the double. They're going to achieve success in both the girls and the boys ACC grand finals, and a dominant burst in 10 minutes in the second half is going to work wonders. We've elapsed 60 minutes, and we're getting ever closer to South Coast beginning double the celebrations. Scott, chance for one more. Chance for one more. Scott just settles down.
Okay, come on,
controlling pass.
A good feed here could do some damage. Come on, there's plenty of people there.
Oh, good control there by Mapunga. Long strike.
No.
And that one is well wide of the goals. He's down. He must have got cleaned up as soon as he kicked it.
Right, that's the sport in the right spirit. Man from Sacred Heart helping him to his feet.
At least
that's the way we do things in the ACC.
That's right. At least Mapunga's okay as well. And Bird will look to clear this one out. In fact, it's a free kick.
Oh, no, it is a free kick.
Going the way of South Coast. So
now,
likely to be the last kick.
Let's see how they're going to set this up. Well, the man in the green shorts trying to distinguish himself there.
That's a Shetz. Ooh, one along the ground there, didn't get all of it. And then Bird will clear this one. Goal kick coming up. The last bit of action maybe. Long ball.
Oh, nice pick through.
Sacred Heart clearing out of the defensive half. Oh, providing great ferocity there was Levy.
Oh, good work.
Very good work there.
And the wings there, the wings
from
there.
South Coast. Oh,
there he is, that's the winger.
Good control there. Combination from Jones and Garnham.
Give and go. Come on, what are you going to do with it?
Garnham. Oh, what about that? Just slices through the traffic. Centering pass. The kick came in from Muema, but a brilliant save there from Bird. Another chance off the post. Mapunga, centering pass. Shetz gets past one. Can he get past the second? No, he can't. Jawa does well to fend it off. Clearing ball. One more chance maybe for Sacred Heart. Can they get a consolation?
Nope.
And that's well covered there by South Coast. The defence has worked exceptionally hard this afternoon. Clearing ball, and it's towards Bird. Can they open it up to the wings? No, they'll have to go to the corridor. Mutema. Mutema does well. Garnham has Mutema for company, but McDonald does well.
Come on, get one
on the burst is McDonald. Can he get one on the board for Sacred Heart? No, he doesn't. Well saved. That one's off the boot of Jalaska and out of play. How unlucky can McDonald get?
Someone's got to buy a new soccer ball for that. No, it's out on the road. You lose it, you pay for it.
Yes. Oh, there it is. It ricocheted off the fence.
Ricocheted off a road train.
Corner coming up for Sacred Heart.
That one's a goner. So if you see a motorbike parked alongside Wellspool Road, it'll be me getting a soccer ball for my grandchildren.
Corner coming from McKenzie.
Come on, Sacred Heart. Let's get one on the board.
McKenzie gets plenty of power on it, but too much.
You've got to be starting to run out of time here. I didn't believe. Oh, we'd had those few stoppages. A bit of injury. Had the
yeah, true.
What was a quasi card going out?
When Jawa went down, and of course the umpire putting a player in the book.
Yes.
Here comes Sheets.
He's off again.
Ooh, Sheets, did he go offside? No, he didn't. Back to Sheets. Doesn't get all of it.
And once again, Bird was sort of caught between a rock and a hard place there. That'll just wander around and shoot, but you can't be caught flat-footed either. Full time.
It's over.
He shanked it.
It's over.
Maybe it was a whistle that called that one.
South Coast, they've gone from heartbreak to triumph in 12 months and their third title in 5 years. And what's even better for South Coast, they've done the double. They've won both the girls and the boys titles. South Coast, undisputed ACC football champions in 2024.
Well, hats off to Doug Hesketh, coached both the boys and the girls, and as we both observed, lots of skills. Obviously the fitness level wasn't lacking either, and as you can see the set plays, and having said that, the red brick wall of Sacred Heart made it most difficult to incorporate your set plays into the game, but they came off, and they I think justifiable winners, South Coast Baptist. And with Sacred Heart, the sporting juggernaut of the ACC, they were in everything. Haven't seen them in the basketball, but I know that there's not too much that they don't do well. It's a wonderful culture within the school. And it goes right back to McGrath, and then you got Clem. The mighty Clem. I wouldn't be surprised Clem will be here, and I think after Bono, even though he hasn't been in the school room for a number of years, is out there. So no shame to the Sacred Heart team to be taken down by South Coast, because they are a very skilled group of young men and women, and their coach very capable.
Absolutely. South Coast, with both the girls and the boys titles, it's South Coast's year. But Sacred Heart deserve plenty of credit. They were a hell of a side to watch in this competition. And Sacred Heart, they put in a hell of an effort in this grand final. They just lost their way in the last 10 minutes or so. They conceded 2 quick goals. But then it was all over when that second goal was scored. South Coast knew that the title was going to be theirs. In just a moment, we're going to go to the presentations for the champions, South Coast. They've done it again. If one title wasn't enough, twice is even sweeter.
Don't forget the ACC is not over for the year. We have the athletics coming up, and that will be each of the schools that, certainly the schools here today, and maybe the other schools have tuned into the broadcast. Don't forget they are being live streamed. We've got wonderful Ethan Quinlivan, the encyclopedia of Western Australia, Australian and world athletics, is going to be co-comparing with me, I think, for 3 or 4 carnivals, introducing to our team, the ACC team, the name Foreman. Everybody knows and venerates Wally Foreman, my good mate, and his wife Lynn, one of my former students, in fact. But it's Mark Foreman this time who's going to be joining the commentary team of the ACC. 10 carnivals, starting with the country schools and the smaller schools. And we'll be going right through to the A Division, where Sacred Heart have been unbeatable, but John 23rd really are making a go. And for years and years, it's been who's going to come second. I'm going to hand you back to
that we've just
sign
seen
off
from
and
our
hand you
two
over
senior
to
boys,
Trent.
top teams for this year, 2024. I think a big round of applause to both teams. That was fantastic football. Even to make today's ACC Championship game, they had to make their way through, and initially the pool stage games that begun right back in term 2. We had over 55 secondary schools in WA this year that were in the ACC Championship, over 90 teams. So to make it to the grand final game today and through the elimination bracket that's been running over the last 4 or 5 weeks is no easy feat. So to boys on both teams today, you should be really proud of coming out and representing your school, but also making the championship grand final, and hopefully it's a lifelong memory that you take with you from your days at the school. I'm going to pass over to Dave Lewis, who's the General Manager of Football from Football West, to say also a word of thanks to both teams. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. Just a few words from myself. A really competitive game, so well done to both teams. My wife is an ex-Sacred Heart student, so even though I am impartial, I was kind of rooting for you. So unlucky guys. Really well done today, well played. But congrats to South Coast, who've taken out both the girls and the boys tournament today. Really well played, and great to have you at the Sam Kerr Football Centre. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Definitely is very nice to be here at the Sam Kerr Football Centre. It's actually the first year that we've had the ACC Championship Grand Finals here, so it's a fantastic relationship with Football West that the ACC has, and we want to continue on with that. I'm going to invite Tarawa Jawa from Sacred Heart and Dylan Scott from South Coast, our two captains, to come forward as well and just say a word of congratulations and thanks. Tarawa?
Thanks to everyone for coming down. Yeah, it's a great venue to play at, and thanks ACC for hosting this, and well played, South Coast, so yeah.
Thanks, Tarawa. And we'll pass over to Dylan Scott from South Coast Baptist.
I just want to thank ACC and Football West for putting on a great tournament. Thank you, Sacred Heart, and the officials. And thank you to all our coaches for making this possible. Thank you.
Thanks, Dylan. Okay, we had, I just want to, firstly, before we get into our medallions and our trophies, and we also had a grand final MVP awarded by our Football West referees today, but I just want to give a round of applause and special thank you to our match officials. So we had Connor Richards, who was our central referee, did a fantastic job, and Roland Turk and Georgia Blaine on our two sidelines. So thank you to the match officials today. A big round of applause. So our grand final MVP, as awarded by our referees and match officials, is Charlie Graham from South Coast Baptist. Well done to Charlie. Fantastic game through the midfield. Really controlled the game, and especially in that second half, as Sacred Hearts definitely pressed early on in that second half, held the defence and things together as well. So well done, Charlie. So just touching base on the game, it was an arm wrestle, I think, 0-0 at half-time. I think both teams definitely had players behind the ball in that first half and defended really well, and then the second half it really opened up. Both teams scoring opportunities. Sacred Heart boys, I think for about 10 minutes there you had 5 or 6 shots on goal. Sometimes that's football. That's the opportunities and the half chances that you can take. And South Coast, who probably didn't have the best start to the second half, suddenly found their tail up and took their opportunities in the back half of that half as well. So congratulations there. Just want to mention also that South Coast Baptist were runner-up. So there'll be boys in this team here at the moment that were runner-up in the Championship Grand Final to Servite last year. So for Sacred Heart boys, especially if you're not in Year 12 and you're perhaps younger than that in Year 10 or 11, make sure you get behind your coach in your school and rally the troops again and get back to the same level again next year, and you should be really proud of your game today. However, our champion school, and this is the second time that South Coast will go onto the trophy, is South Coast Baptist with the 2-0 result. So if we can have the captain again come forward and present the trophy, receive the trophy cup, and then we're going to present our winning medallion. So I'm just going to call out our players' names. Okay, starting in goals, Finley Chafee. Number 3, Ben Kingdon. We had Charlie Garnham, our MVP. Alex McMullen. George Jones. Stuart Kerr. Malise Mapungu. Luca Shates. Jacob Twigg. Tino Matima. Hamilton Spencer. Kaylin Mackay. Dylan Scott, our captain. Jordan Callahan. Adrian Masevic. Antonio Gattani. And also, obviously, our coach today was Doug Hesketh from South Coast Baptist. Thanks, Doug. Are they on the list, are they?
Yeah, Matthew Brand, yeah.
Matthew Brandt.
Well, what a team. South Coast.
Matthew Brandt, our
There'll be big
reserve goalkeeper.
celebrations tonight. Not just for the girls' team, but for the boys' team. They've done the double. South Coast, the champions in the senior boys for 2024. Congratulations to all the team over there at South Coast Baptist College. They are a champion team. Well, that wraps up a sensational afternoon of football action here at the beautiful Sam Kerr Football Centre. It's a great facility. Thanks to, of course, Kelvin and his team from Two Monkeys Agency for putting together a great broadcast, the ACC and Football West for putting together this event, and all our wonderfully talented team putting together this broadcast. On behalf of Mike O'Meara and all of our team, it's Paul Persick wishing you a great afternoon. Stay safe from the rain. South Coast Baptist, they have conquered the ACC Football Grand Final in 2024.